gentlemen we have admitted are already in Bosnia. The BBC is talking about that. I told you. The BBC and other European shortwave stations will give you news that you will not get by omission here in the country. You've got to get shortwave. Since Desert Storm, we have reduced our military forces by about 30%. It's almost one-third. And he said, trouble is, if we get involved more and more in Bosnia, and then the jerk in North Korea comes across the DMZ, we could be in trouble. Or if Saddam decides he's going to kick off his heels, we could be in trouble. In other words, we might not have enough service people to cover everything at once. That is sage advice from a general who knows what he's doing. I read at the beginning of the program, and if you didn't hear it, I'm sorry, the president's full letter, the one he wrote when he evaded service in Vietnam. If you are able to get a repeat of the first hour of this program, I suggest you listen very carefully to it because it is very revealing of the convenient, elastic morality of the man who now sends people to do that which he would not do. That is not a trivial matter. So we're talking obviously about Bosnia. I mean, it's unavoidable. That's one thing. And the other is the baby in Kalamazoo, Michigan. It is the most remarkable, incredible, good, cool Christmas story. It's more than that. I really don't know what you would call this. And you tell me what you would call it. Kalamazoo, Michigan, yesterday. Aired on CNN at 9 o'clock. A mother pregnant. Her baby, 16 weeks premature. Stillbirth. The child comes out purple. No life signs. Dead. Totally purple. I mean, totally almost a purple to black color of the skin. No brainwaves, no heartbeat, no breathing. In Kalamazoo, they have a program that after the doctors have done their heroic best and a child has been declared dead, they allow the mother to hold the dead child for good reason. I mean, psychological reasons. It allows of bonding. It allows the mother to know that which now she will never know again and come to terms with her child's death. It is a very sensitive, reasonable program. This child had been dead for 3 1/4 hours, and the mother was in this grieving, bonding process with it. I said 3 1/4 hours, when suddenly it began gasping for breath. The doctors and the nurses were right there. They about fell over. They grabbed the child, put it on life support, and as far as I know at this hour, they of course have no way of knowing about brain damage right now, but nearly as they know at this hour, the child continues to live. I said 3 1/4 hours. That is not amazing. It's beyond amazing. It is a miracle. That is the word I care. That is the word I attach to that. I don't know what you would call it, but you're welcome to call it whatever you want. You try and explain it. Mr. Bell, regarding the baby on the CNN report who had been pronounced dead 3 1/2 hours later resumed breathing, I'm sure there will be many explanations and theories posed trying to explain the reason. As you said, this is a miracle. And because most people feel uncomfortable with miracles, this will probably be filed away simply to be forgotten. not by me. There will be, as you say, sir, many people who will simply file this away, try to forget it, because they cannot explain it. Can you? Any of you have a good scientific explanation for reanimation after 3.5 hours? Anybody out there want to take a shot at that one? And there's Art. Even though the White House numbers are running 4-1 against troops going to Bosnia, this is still a near guaranteed win for Bill Clinton. When the troops get there, one of two things is going to happen. One, the peace will be held. No troops killed. Bill Clinton looks like a genius, yes. Or two, troops begin to drop like flies. There is a public outcry, and Bill will come up with the following, quote, "You have spoken, and I have listened. I today am ordering our peacekeeping troops home since there is no peace to keep." And then boom, his popularity numbers will skyrocket just in time for the election. I think this may turn out to be a win-win situation, either way, for Bill. And I like this. I had a caller call up earlier, a man who said, "We're firing rockets off constantly to the east," I believe he said, "and that is slowly slowing the Earth." Dear Art, regarding the retro rocket caller, I think the old laugh-in line is appropriate. Very interesting, but stupid. About the baby, do you remember your own question about the proof of God? As always, a great show. Crazy Jim, he signs it, in Milwaukee. And this, dear Art, scientists are vastly concerned about the hazards of slowing the Earth's rotation to walking speed by the incessant eastward outbound rockets. Therefore, they launch an equal number of rockets to the west as well. But what I'm afraid of are their north to south outbound rocket launches. Think about that. It's from New Orleans, I think. Oh no, Columbus, Georgia. The professor, he calls himself in Columbus, Georgia. So that gives you a little bit of a hint of what we're talking about this morning. The book signing offer is now over. You can still get my book for Christmas if you would like. And they have a service now that will get it to you like in 2 days or something. You know, if you want to get it next day or whatever, you can order my book that way. On my first time caller line, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes, I'm calling from Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara, KQMS.
Yes, 990.
That's the one.
And I was just shocked when I heard you read Bill Clinton's letter in entirety.
Yes.
I thought, what? And I was wondering, do you think that he lost his soul a long time ago?
Yes.
Or is it something that happened over time?
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you to speak up good and loud. You're very weak here. Get right close to that phone and speak way up.
Okay.
All right, that's better. Do I think he lost his soul? Yes, in a way. I think that when, and you could tell by the letter, that early on, he had purity political aspirations. And I think that in a way, when you make a decision that you're going to go into politics, you do, in a way, sign your soul over. Bill Clinton is the consummate politician. I call him the monster from the id. We created him. He is our creation, you know. I mean, we wanted a man who would tell us what we want to hear. And we found him. That's right. We found him. That's Bill Clinton. And we have elevated him to the highest office in the land. So we are getting exactly what we voted for.
But you spent so much time composing that letter, so much thought into that.
Oh, yes.
And, my goodness, he must have really had a lot. I mean, this was not a casual thing to him, even back then.
Right.
And I was wondering, how can he even sleep knowing he's going to be sending thousands of young men and women to be slaughtered?
Well, I think that when you, in essence, sign your soul over, you begin to sleep well at night, just as I believe Charlie, who calls the show occasionally, sleeps well at night. If you have no conscience, you have nothing to stir you and keep you awake. So you sleep very well. Thank you very much for the call. You sleep very well indeed. It's hard for people with a conscience and with a high sense of ethics and morality to understand even the existence of those without it. It seems impossible, but it is true. And if you listen to that letter from Bill Clinton, you understand that at a very early age, he committed himself to a political life. And in a way, that means you sign your soul over, because to be the consummate politician, you've got to be a good liar. Being a good politician means being a good liar. In modern America, it does. Now, it may not have always been that way, but in modern America, you better be a good liar. You've got to be able to, look people in the face and say things like, read my lips, no new taxes, and, just know that you don't need it. Sorry, George. West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hey, Art.
Hello. Yes, sir.
How you doing, bud?
I do.
Okay. Now, I don't care about Clinton.
You don't care about Clinton? You don't care about the president of the U.S.?
Well, it could be, let's say, somebody from Princeton, Woodrow Wilson.
Huh?
It could be Woodrow Wilson.
No, it couldn't. He's
Yes,
dead.
it could. Yes, it could. Because,
No, he's dead.
oh, okay. Well, all right. Let's say we put troops in there, okay? And we
No, let's not say it. They're already there.
keep to the north and to the south, but we got jihad to the south.
All right, well, jihad, sir, thank you for the call. Jihad, he's talking about the Islamic fundamentalism there, and the jihad is a religious war. And so I'm not exactly sure where you were going with that. There are people who hate our guts. There is simply no question about that. I'm not precisely sure where you were going with that. It began to seem a little drifty to me. There is, and has been, a jihad against us forever. They don't like us. The Islamic world does not like the West. And ultimately, there is going to be a clash. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, Art.
Hello.
Jake in Columbia, Missouri.
Hi, Jake.
Hi, it's really a miracle what happened with the baby up there, isn't it?
I can't find another word for it.
It'd be nice to know if he or she lived to make a full recovery after that.
Now, if there is no brain damage, if there's no brain damage, then it is utterly and so completely inexplicable.
Unbelievable.
It can't be.
Really?
And I think that it's so inexplicable right now that people are having a hard time reacting to it. They're going, whoa.
I don't know what to think.
Exactly. And I think that's exactly the way most people feel. And I've been chewing over, I had more of a chance to chew it over. The story ran at 9 o'clock last night. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, wow.
I didn't get to see it. I
Yeah.
would like to see it.
Well, I bet CNN is still running it.
They'll probably play it all day tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much.
I had one other thing to say. I appreciate you telling exactly where to find these your bulletin board pictures.
Yes.
I downloaded a skull off of that one time.
Oh, Max? Max? That's
No,
Max.
I didn't get Max. It was some archaeological find.
Oh, you gotta get Max.
And I wasted about 10 minutes downloading that.
You gotta see Max.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
Max the Crystal Skull. It's max.gif, I think.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
Okay?
Have a good night, Art.
Right, take care. And the new ghost photograph is cool. I mean cool. there's really good cause, and this one is cool. So if you're interested in this sort of thing, gotta remember to mention that again. Ooh, it's cool. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, this is Chris from Kansas City.
How you doing?
Great, what's going on?
First of all, what's going on is your radio, and it needs to be going off.
Okay, turn the radio off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to ask you, when are you going to do the Madman interview?
Well, Madman called me and affirmed that he was still in this dimension and was supposed to call me back and has not done it. His life is in sort of a flux right now.
It is.
Yes, not exactly a magnetic flux, but in flux. And so he will call.
Oh, he will.
When he calls, we'll do the show.
Okay, another thing I want to ask you. Tell you about, did you hear that Tom Likas is coming in Kansas City?
Yes, I heard that he's going to do a show there in Kansas City. And then Tom Likas is going to come to Las Vegas as well. I think sometime in January.
I just wondered if you were going to ask me any questions for you.
No. I'd just soon take the high road here.
You can take the high road, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that should be interesting, huh?
You ask him what do you want to ask him?
I don't know. I was just kind of asking how his ratings are doing.
See what he says.
How many builds you got now?
241.
241. Okay. What do you think of the Chiefs? You think they're winning against Miami?
I think they've got a good chance, yes.
I think so too. All right. Well, it was great talking to you.
All right, take care. The only gripe I have with the Chiefs is that they have always screwed me up. In other words, if I go bet on them because I think they're romping stomping, they screw me up and I lose my bet. Every time, almost. And if I bet against them, they have a good week and they absolutely trump the team. So in other words, I have not had good betting luck with the Chiefs. But they're a great football team, there's no doubt about that. It's just they've let me down so many times. West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, I'm confused. At what point did you sort of say that in the past, for instance, committed himself to politics, but then by sending the troops to Bosnia, you're also saying that it's no political advantage, that he's not thinking of politics.
Well, that's because I cannot imagine a political upside to what he is doing.
So maybe he's learned something.
Well, you think so? What is it? What lesson do you believe he has learned?
Probably, I think once he gets into the office, wherever it is, learns some secret that really boggle the mind.
Think so?
Could be hidden plutonium over there that requires ground troops.
In other words, you're trying to imagine some truly important national security reason for doing what he is doing that we are not privy to.
Yeah, like why did you say that Woodrow Wilson would hit that comet?
I'm sorry?
Why did you say that Woodrow Wilson would hit that comet?
Why? Well, because he may just fly off, and the comet actually would hit him. You see, it wouldn't be the other way around. He's not flying out.
But you admit it. You did say that.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Does that make you happy?
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye. That guy is utterly full of nonsense, so I thought I would, for a change, meet him at his own level, which is nowhere near commentary. And that was not commentary, but commentary. Oh boy, on the first time caller line, you're on the air, but I just realized I'm coming into a break here. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
You are? Where are you?
I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. That's a pretty cool place to be. Do you want to hold on?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, then hold on through the break, and we will come back to you in Portland. Woodrow Wilson is out there. That comment better be careful. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Art Bell's Somewhere in Time on Premier Radio Networks. Tonight, an encore presentation of Coast to Coast AM from December 5th, 1995. program originally aired December 5th, 1995.
Good morning, everybody. Good to have you here. You're listening to Spontaneous, Crazy, Full Moon, Talk Radio. And as you can see, we don't screen calls except on the air. We sort of screen on the air here, and that results in rough edges. But I really wouldn't have it any other way. It gives you a sense of the night, a sense of what's out there. And now we're going back to Portland, and let's see what's up in Portland. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Sedan. What's going on?
I don't know.
I've been listening to your show for about 2 years now. I got turned on to it by a friend of mine. I just wanted you to know that I really honor you for all the things you do.
Thank you.
Being in Japan, I think you know what that means.
Well, that sounds like you're about to hand me a beer. That's for all you do.
But anyway, it's good to see that you're a good icon of change that people can rally around. Just one question is basically, once the quickening speeds up and things fall apart,
Yes.
will you still broadcast?
Oh, I'll call it as it happens. I'm going to provide color for the quickening, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I've told everybody, as the comet comes in, my wife will be on the porch. She'll be doing the color commentary from the porch. Go out there every few minutes. Yes, seems to be getting larger. Oh, look at those flames. Look at those pieces breaking away as she starts to enter the atmosphere. Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, I've been watching what's been going on
You're
around
right here.
Bosnia and stuff. I really wouldn't be surprised if, because all the parties involved, somebody just finally gets fed up and blows up the entire area. The emotions are running that high.
Well, there's going to be trouble.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be trouble. Wars aren't anything but trouble.
Yeah. And this war isn't over. I mean, it's like, because they initialed, and we bombed them to initial in Dayton, and then we're going to continue that threat to get them to sign in Paris. We think it's over, but I don't think they think it's over. And that they're the ones that count.
Just one more question, a little more closer to home.
Sure. Doesn't involve Mr. Wilson, does it?
No, it doesn't. Actually, I did go to high school named after him. But anyway, I'm living on the streets currently, here in Portland. I just happened to be blessed with being over at a friend's place so I could give you a call.
Oh, I see.
Usually I live out in the woods, in the camps, and, at the camps and stuff with, street people.
You haven't seen Bigfoot, have you?
No, actually, we've been looking for him now.
Keep your eye out. Anyway, yeah.
But, we've been talking about, the way things go. I've turned a lot of people on, every intellectual I know, with different, levels of society and stuff, all on to, your show. Get them to key in, talk about some of the things. By the way, your dreamland on nanotechnology is rocking my world, and everyone else is right,
Well, in February, we're going to come out with a big issue of the newsletter devoted to nanotechnology and a lot of photographs.
Cool, I'll definitely be looking for it. I really want to, key into this.
Well, maybe you can get a general delivery somewhere.
Well, yeah, definitely. But basically the question is don't you think there might be a way that we can turn good culture, kind of like your last Dreamland guest, I can't remember her name.
Moira Timms.
Yes, she has a very, very good stance on things. I like the attitude she has, where religions are a lot like the color of the skin. If we're not going to get past them, we're pretty much doomed. We kind of got to see things from a central point.
Well, then we're doomed. See, that's where, look, sir, I got to run. That's where Moira and I differ. She looks at the half-full glass of water, and in this regard, I look at the half-empty glass of water. I'm afraid that my half-empty glass is the pragmatic glass. And as you know, I think the little cockpit point of no return light went on some time ago. Just what I think. We have got in January an issue of the newsletter that is devoted entirely to the Quicken. Oh, you ought to see the cover. It's really cool. In February, one of the articles is going to be on nanotechnology. Now, what is today's date? Let me see. It's supposed to be on my log. Yep, today is the 5th. In 5 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the price of our newsletter goes up. And it goes up $10. to $39.95. It is now $29.95 a year. You can now order up to 3 years at $29.95. In 10 days, that's all over. So, a word to the wise, I keep telling you, order the newsletter now or renew. You can do that now at the present rate, or it's going to go up. That's all there is to it. So, there you are. I mean, it's like do or die. First time caller line, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
I can't believe I got through.
Maybe you didn't. Maybe it's a lie.
I hope not.
No, you're on the air. Where are you?
I'm in Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita.
Yes, I heard a man calling from here earlier.
That's right. KFH.
Yes. I'm wondering how we can hear you longer. We get you from 1 to 4 in the morning.
Well, what do they do at 4 o'clock?
Well, we have somebody else come on.
I don't know. I would say call KFH.
Okay.
And, now, if, when radio stations begin their morning show at like 5 o'clock, then there's not a lot you can do about it because that's when they start their morning show.
Right.
And that's reasonable. But if they've got another program on in there, you might ask them to carry 1 more hour. And, if enough people ask, maybe they will do it.
I'll do that. I have several things I want to get in here, so I'll go quick.
All right.
I've ordered your book, and I can't wait to get it.
I can't wait for you to get it either.
And I wanted to ask you if anyone had ever gotten more than the 3 Hubble space views, or is that the only thing they've released to the public?
That's all I've seen.
Well, I ordered some, and just for anyone that might want to know where they can get them, you can have them printed any size. It's the Pounds Laboratory, Pounds in Dallas, Texas.
I gotta be a little careful here, dear.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I called, made a lot of calls, tried to find out where to get those, and these are available to the public, and of course you have to pay for them.
Of course.
But anyway, I was tickled to get them.
They're gonna be in our newsletter this month.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
In color?
In color.
Well, I'm excited.
The color ones are hard to get.
Yes, The other thing I wanted to mention is, do you remember the lady that called in that had found a little dead bird?
No.
Then some time ago, she brought the little bird in and she nursed it and...
Oh, I do remember
Okay.
that. Yes.
That got more response from the radio audience than this miracle baby. You remember?
Yeah.
I'm
I do.
confounded about
I mean, this miracle baby, you know what I think it is? I think people are so blown by it that they don't know what to say,
Yeah,
and
right.
I really do believe that's it. I have no problem with it. I can sit here and speculate to death about it. I love this kind of story. I mean, reanimation after 3.5 hours.
I know, it's a miracle.
Yep.
But people were more interested and responded to the lady with the dead bird
Well,
than they have to this human miracle.
it is true.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is if you've ever heard of the Creation Evidences Museum in Glen Rose, Texas.
Oh, yes, I absolutely have.
Well, I've ordered their tapes. Have you seen those?
No, not yet. But I've heard of them.
Well, maybe you'll be talking about that on
Dreamland.
Dreamland some night.
All right. Ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. The KFH in Wichita, Kansas. Now, as I just told that lady, if the radio station you are listening to goes to a morning show, their morning show after our show, then there's probably not very much hope of getting the hours extended. But if they've got something else plugged in there, then it would certainly be worth your giving them a call and saying, hey, how about giving us another hour of Coast? And I always like to remind everybody, when you do that, do it politely. You've got to really get to the program director or the manager of the radio station. And the worst thing that you can do is say, call up and say, hi, that program you've got on after Coast to Coast, that's really a piece of crap. Now, why do you run such baloney on your radio station? This is the wrong approach. And it tends to cause the hair on the back of their neck to go straight out. And they get defensive, and they say to themselves immediately, what a jerk. Because, see, they're probably the person who decided to put that there in the first place. So when you say that it's junk, you're telling them that they're a jerk. That's very bad. Don't do that. Be instead positive and simply say what you would like or what you would enjoy them doing. Not so much a commentary on what you don't like as what you do like, and you're a lot more likely to have success. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Thank God I got through. This is John in Midwest City, Oklahoma, and I'm upset tonight.
Why?
Would you know any reason why WKY 930 would pull you off the air?
No, except things happen.
You're not on the air tonight.
Well, that happens.
I'm trying to pull you in on, what is that, WJR?
Detroit.
Yeah, I kind of get a faint, I can hear you a little bit up there. It kind of fades in and out, but
I would think WOAI down in San Antonio would be
it fades just as much.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's amazing. We can get it from both ways.
Yeah.
No, you know, things happen night to night.
It's a rebroadcast of some daytime talk show from back during the bombing.
Yeah. Oh, really? Well, you know, what happens is they have satellite troubles on some nights, and so they have to do something.
Oh, this ain't nothing permanent, though, is it?
I don't think this ain't nothing permanent.
No, that's good. Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah?
You've made your point that you're not going to write another book, and that you
That's
don't
right.
have much worth for the television media.
No, I don't.
But I got a scenario.
No, wait. I want to qualify that.
Okay.
I watch TV, so I don't say that television doesn't have worth. I say that I don't like TV for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I just flat don't like it.
Okay, here's your scenario.
Okay.
Someone from one of the three major networks get a hold of your book, and they read it, and they go, you know what, Fred? This might not make a bad movie of the week.
No.
You wouldn't be interested in something like that?
No.
Seeing your face play on the big screen?
No.
Yeah. It'd be a way for people to get to know you. The book's better, though.
See, books are always better.
Yeah.
Everybody who reads a book and then sees the movie, they're always disappointed anyway.
Yeah, but then you can always get some sexy movie star to play your part.
Well, the only person who could really do it would be Daniel Ortega, and he's involved in other things.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I hope they get you back on the air.
Well,
I'm about to lose you here.
Well, all right, you give them a call.
I'm about to lose you in about 10 minutes because WAI and I think WJR both go off the air, take you off the air at 4 o'clock, I think.
Well, WJR is on East Coast time, you see, so it's 5 o'clock almost back there, and yes, that's when they begin their morning show.
Yeah, well, they're an hour ahead of me.
And I don't know what it is OAI does it for, you know,
they're
Good Morning somebody or another, something. So, give them a call. I'm sure they've got satellite trouble.
Yeah, I just got a little paranoid. I like your show. I've been listening to you now for a couple of years, and I don't know what I'd do without you at late night.
Thank you. Well, as the bumper sticker says, stuff happens. Thanks for the call, sir.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. With 241 affiliates, there are... do you realize what it takes to get a program from point A to point B, which in this case is from my little radio room here, to all these radio stations all over the country? If I were to explain it, your eyes would glaze over, or you would be amazed, or you wouldn't believe it. All the satellite hops and technology and digital transmission and all the rest of it, it is nothing short of amazing, but it does work. And again, you know, you hear Rush say all the time, it doesn't matter where here is. Now, as long as I'm here on the radio, right? So you've got to wonder if that's really true, then why is he in Manhattan? Wildcard line, you're on the air.
Yeah, let me turn my radio down here.
Turn it off all the way, actually.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, this is Mike from Portland. I talked to you last time. You said I couldn't call twice.
That's right.
This time it's a different show.
That's right, and that's fine.
Okay. Well, I've got some information for you that I checked out
Okay.
about the distance of breathing speed.
Wait. Braking speed for...
You asked me how far it would take you if you're going 75 miles an hour to slow a truck down?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that would depend on the weight of the truck. Like the maximum you can be is 80,000 pounds.
All right, let's say it's 80,000 pounds.
Okay, 80,000 pounds. If you have at least a half-inch of brake pad, which is by law, you have to have at least a half-inch brake pad. It takes 1,235 feet to stop on dry pavement.
That run over a whole bunch of Volkswagens.
Yeah, sure would. And another thing about drafting, you said you draft behind a truck. That's called drafting, what you're talking about.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called drafting. Now, there's no feasible way that a truck can pull you. If you're on a downhill slope and you get in his draft pattern, you could stay with him. His truck will pull you a little ways, but it won't pull you very far. If you're on level ground...
I did this on level ground in the Midwest.
How far did he supposedly pull you?
I did it for about 6 or 7 minutes. And what I did is, and I really don't want to air this because some idiot out there is going to try it and get killed.
I understand it. There are a lot of idiots out there.
And it was at a high rate of speed too. And so I don't want to talk about it anymore, but I did it. I'm telling you, I did it. Disbelieve it if you want. I don't care.
I'm not disbelieving it. I just want to know the distance that you actually did it for.
5 or 6 minutes at about 75 miles an hour.
Okay, well, you know what?
And I got right up behind the truck and threw it into neutral and turned the engine off.
You're lucky you hit the DOT bar in the back of the trailer.
Yeah. I know. Don't try that.
One other thing, though.
Yes?
Now, you were talking about Bigfoot. Now, I'm originally from Great Falls, Montana.
Yeah.
And I've been out in the woods numerous times when I was in the Boy Scouts going out all over.
I was out in the woods too.
And I've yet to see any footprints, hear any screams about Bigfoot.
Doesn't mean it's not there.
Oh, well, if you've been in the woods as extensively as I have...
Yeah, I know, but how can you even know, for example, how many Boy Scouts have been gobbled by Bigfoot?
None that I know of.
Well, that's right. See, there you are. So you can't know how many. And it could be that Bigfoot would regard Boy Scouts as particularly munchable. Like a snack. Probably spits out the merit badges. Otherwise, down they go. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi. Hello?
Hi, Art.
Hello.
This is John and Rosita.
How you doing, John?
I want to make reference to one of your earlier callers that, sometimes there'll be really tough, bad things happening in the world, and they'll show the leaders of the world, the country, they're pretty relaxed and smiling, like it's no big deal, like possibly they know something that we don't. And I was just thinking about like Yeltsin and Clinton, when they were laughing at the media before we're going to Bosnia.
I remember that, yeah.
Well, my contention is that these people certainly know about a lot of stuff that the public isn't privy to. And also I think technology in reality is possibly way beyond what the normal public knows about.
All right, sir, we'll have to hold it there. In other words, they may know about the Grays and the saucers in Area 51, and so they're laughing. We'll be back.
You're listening to Art Bell, Summer in Time. Tonight featuring a replay of Coast to Coast AM from December 5th, 1995. presentation of Coast to Coast AM from December 5th, 1995.
There's a full moon out there. Big old full moon out there. Now, I don't know technically if it's full, but when I go out and look at it, it sure does look full to me. Somebody actually might call me and let me know, is it technically full tonight? Sure sounds like it. I've got a couple faxes here you've got to hear. But first I had to get my blood pumped. And these are the gals who do it. Low blood pressure, you know? It would work. I love it. Pointer Sisters. You know who they remind me of? I saw a movie this last weekend that I thought was absolutely tremendous. It was called Sugar Time. Has anybody seen that out there? I think the McGuire sisters are sort of the Pointer Sisters, and the Pointer Sisters are kind of the McGuire sisters of their time. Both of them, birth of a preacher man. And in both cases, they went on to get real popular. Anybody seen Sugar Time? Boy, that was a good movie. And it was the story of Phyllis McGuire, who, by the way, lives now in Las Vegas, I understand. You get an opportunity to see that movie, see it. It's called Sugar Time, and it sucked me right in. Boy, was it good. You know who I would really, really like to interview? Phyllis McGuire. I bet she wouldn't do it. But if you get an opportunity, have any of you seen Sugar Time? Wouldn't it be cool to interview Phyllis McGuire? Just a tremendous movie. Get a chance to go rent it or something. It's called Sugar Time. And it's about Las Vegas, and it's about the McGuire sisters, and it's about Phyllis McGuire. And I have no way of knowing how much of it is true or not. But I would give my right arm to be able to interview Phyllis McGuire and ask her about it. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hi.
Morning, Art.
Good morning, sir.
Calling from Reno.
Reno, yes.
Did somebody call in about the article in Reno Gazette Journal yesterday?
No.
Well, you were talking about the baby?
Right.
Yeah, Reno Gazette Journal. It's a miracle baby for Reno area couple. After 20 minutes, a technician arrived for the stillbirth process and saw the baby was moving. Pronounced dead by 2 doctors. So I just thought you'd like to hear something else is going on this side of the
All right, let me give you yet another one. Dear Art, if, as you said, the baby was 16 weeks premature and was stillborn, then we may have just discovered the precise moment the soul enters the body. Great news for all of the pro-choice crowd. Roy in Loveland, Colorado.
This baby was 2 pounds 5 ounces, and it shows it in an incubator, so I didn't get the whole article read here for you. Let's see, 10 weeks premature.
10 weeks. But, I mean, how can anything, I don't care, premature, anything dead for 3¼ hours come to life?
Well, Art, after 20 minutes, after 5 minutes, you're brain dead.
People have come, yeah, that's right. At room temperature, you're doggone right. I've heard of cases where people, for up to an hour, have come out of freezing water and survived. But not at room temperature, not for 20 minutes, not for 3 hours.
But something might be going on here. You know, we keep talking about the quickening. You do too.
You betcha.
And up here in the Sierras, we're having no rain, no snow, no nothing compared to last year.
I know, even in Alaska, sir. In fact, I should invite, take a listen. I think this man's onto something. Something's going on. Can't you feel it? Something's changing. You know, the guy called a little while ago about the government death clinics or whatever it was. How would you not want to stick around to see where all this is going? Oh, man, these are very exciting times. Very exciting times. There should be a lot of snow up in Anchorage, but Alaska. Some of you Alaskans, hold on here. has it begun to snow yet? I know it's getting cold. I saw the weather charts, and the wind chill was way down below zero for Anchorage, I believe. How cold is it getting, one? And two, are you getting any snow yet? It's a weird year. First time caller line, you're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bill. Carl, Como Country. How are you today?
Just fine. Glad to have you.
Yes, sir. Well, I hope all is well, and particularly as we approach the holiday season. And that brings up a question in my mind concerning depression of the season, which I can relate to a certain extent, but beyond that for many years due to declining physical condition. I'm only about a year or two older than you are. However, unable to find myself ready to face the 21st century, I wanted to ask you what you personally felt about the improvement of the quality of human life, generally speaking, by the introduction of euthanasia clinics to benefit those of us who might voluntarily opt out of the loop, in fact would. What would be your read on that as a viable governmental policy?
No, I would say it's not viable.
Considering our present moral code, all the moral hand-wringing and hypocrisy, I take it you're referring to that?
No, I'm referring to it's not the government's job to be into death any more than it is into a lot of the rest of our personal lives. If people want to do themselves in, there's a multitude of ways to do that. You don't need government help.
Well, since the government is...
Hold it. Wait. Why would you want to go to a euthanasia clinic?
Well, you know, one thing I've always remembered since about 1975, you might recall the movie Soylent Green.
Yes.
Starring Edward G. Robinson and Charlton Heston.
Yes.
I remember that one scene in there where it was such a streamlined operation, and it seemed to me to make total, complete sense, logic. In other words, this is the way to do it because...
So you think the government could make the death trains run on time?
Been done before, and since they're into every facet of our existence anyway, I thought, why not enter this arena?
I am astounded that you would suggest it.
Well, years ago I would have been equally astounded, but due to prevailing circumstances, the decline of the country, our political system, the system of economics, and the technology coming in the next century, which is actually here right now.
Yeah, but don't you really want to stick around long enough to see how it all comes out? I mean,
Well, Art, I won't profess to have seen it all, not by any means, but in 5.2 decades of existence, I dare say I've seen enough. And I think what I've seen and heard and experienced is a great sufficiency.
Gee, not for me.
Well, I guess it's all on how you view things, but I wanted to put this idea forward to see...
Okay, well, you believe me, you'll get a reaction from the audience. Government death clinics. What do you folks think? Good idea, bad idea? Report here. Fill out the form. Put your social security number. Let's have the fingerprint. Into the chamber you go. Crushed like a puppy. Yeah, great. Government death chambers. Sure, why not? Not me. I'm going to stick around for, I realize there are a lot of negative things going on, but to me it is like a great story. I mean, it's better than the O.J. trial. On a daily basis, things like the miracle in Kalamazoo, things like that. On a day-to-day basis. How can you not want to see what's coming next? Besides, think of all the forms you'd have to fill out. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, Art. This is Dave in Illinois.
Hello, Dave.
Hi. I was wondering if you had a chance to check on the bombs in Roswell that I called you about last night.
No, I haven't. Bombs in Roswell. No, I've not heard anything about it.
I looked in the papers again today and nothing.
Yep, that's what I came up with, Dave.
Huh.
So I guess it's a bomb.
I guess.
Sorry, Dave, I wish I could help you out.
Yeah, I wish you could too. And on that baby thing.
Yes.
Wow. That's about all you can say.
It makes you reflective, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Thanks, Dave. In other words, that's animation of the dead. coming to life from death. 3¼ hours, folks. That's coming to life from death. Now, it takes a while to sink in, the importance of this story. It's so outlandish that I think a lot of people simply don't believe it. They will attribute it to anything but a miracle. They will attribute it to doctors who did not read, weak but still remaining life signs or something or another, but that's balderdash. These were top-notch physicians. There was no mistake made. This child was without life. And then life came. Now, you let that one roll around in the noggin for a while. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Art, this is James in Oklahoma City. Have you heard about the discovery of the dwarf star?
Yes, sir, I have. I have a photograph of it, actually.
Do you think it has any connection with Hale-Bopp or the asteroidal belt between
No, sir. That's about 18 light years out.
But don't they all intertwine?
No.
They don't weave?
Well, except as the universe is...
They would be too far away, in other words.
Way far away. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Art.
You're welcome, sir, in Oklahoma City, yeah. I don't believe there is any connection. Except some of the discoveries we're making are... Those photographs of the birth of stars, ooh, those are incredible. Incredible. Those photographs are in our next newsletter. Now, in the newsletter following that, it will be the quickening. In the newsletter following that, there will be a big story and photographs of nanotechnology. Just some of the few things that we're doing right now. On the first-time caller line, you're on the air.
This is a miracle. It truly is. Hi, kid. What's going on?
Well, me at the moment.
Well, I'm really glad that you put on the air the earthquake and volcanic activities, because I always get a really panicky feeling, and I've never figured out what it was. But since I started listening to your show about a year ago, I started correlating my feelings with
what's going on.
Yeah, it was great. And I don't know, since I don't get you past 5 o'clock.
Where are you? Where?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Judy from Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. What station are you listening to?
WKY.
So then,
930.
some fella called earlier and said we weren't on, so they must...
I know. I'm really sorry. Oklahomans really aren't all that smart sometimes.
You mean he was...
Is his name really Steve? Did he ever say that?
Do you mean he was just flat wrong?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think he just got the wrong station, maybe? I don't know. I catch you from San Antonio until 3 o'clock, and then I go to WKY.
I see.
Has anyone ever correlated the happenings in Australia with the horses you were talking about?
They ought to, because what's going on down there is really weird.
Well, did anyone think that maybe it's the killer rabbit virus that isn't supposed to touch anyone else but rabbits?
Already mutated, eh?
Exactly. I mean, who would ever say?
Yeah, I really do think the killer rabbit virus, much as I dislike rabbits, I think that it's a bad idea, and I think one of these things is going to turn around and bite humanity in the butt. You don't mess around with Mother Nature.
Well, yeah, I mean, who's to say that the AIDS virus and the Ebola virus isn't the same way? I mean, look at killer bees. They started as an experiment.
You've got them in Oklahoma now, don't you?
Yeah, in southern Oklahoma. I live more in the northwest section. I love your show, Dreamlight. It is so great. I have read so many of the books of the people you have interviewed.
They're good, aren't they?
Oh, yes. Dr. Strange, of course, I've read Outwitting Tomorrow and his book, Strangers in the Pentagon.
Right.
They were both very exciting to me.
Oh, yes.
Gosh, so many things are happening. And I'm like you. I go to a meeting once a month. There's a lot of people in our area who are sensitive. I hate the word psychic. I don't believe in it. I'm not a New Ager.
Sensitive, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And one of the girls, there was a lecture, and one of the girls said, and I forgot what I was talking about. I hate it when I do that.
It's a brain lock.
It really is, yeah. And I'm sure it's the Heart Project. I'll blame it on that. That sounds good.
Yeah, someone threw a switch up there. You stopped in mid-sentence. All right,
no, really, I'm almost 40. I think that's why.
Oh, boy, well, I'm 50, so...
Well, you don't sound like it.
Really?
Does that help?
Is there a way that you sound when you get to be 50?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I really do. Oh, anyway, I was going to say, you know, with the glass half empty and half full.
Yes. All right, let me finish on the air here. Listen on the air. I do look at it as half empty, I admit. But I want to see how it turns out. And that goes back to the guy, I'm still not over that, the guy who wanted to have the government death clinics, you know? Euthanasia clinics, where people who have had enough can go to end it all. What do you all think of that idea? Not too cool. Government death clinics. Dr. Kevorkian Memorial Clinic. East of the Rockies, whoops, you would have been on the air, but you're not. West of the Rockies, on the wildcard line, you're on the air.
Hey, I heard you calling for a weather report from Alaska.
Oh, yes. You're in Alaska?
Yeah, I'm here in Anchorage.
Anchorage. And how cold is it?
Well, over here on the east side, it's about 22 below right now. That's without the wind.
Actually, 22 below zero?
Yes.
Oh, man. That's cold.
It's cold.
How much snow do you all have?
We have less than an inch, and mostly there's none covering anything.
That's ridiculous.
I know, we had about 4 feet by this time last year.
What the hell's going on?
Don't ask me. I want to go skiing now.
That's ridiculous. 22 below, no snow, less than an inch, or none at all. That's outrageous. What's going on up in Fairbanks, do you know?
Yeah, my little sister is going to college up there, and I guess it's just as cold, and they have about 4 inches of snow.
Boy, that Heart Project.
It must be.
That's ridiculous. That really is ridiculous. And everything's down south, and it's blowing in, and I understand there's more rain headed to the northwest. And the rivers are at the breaking point. They've started to recede a little bit. Now it's warming, and they're worried about snow melt-off and more rain coming in. I'm telling you.
On our local weather, they said the jet stream was just completely skipping Alaska and heading down south.
That's what it looks like, and that's what's got the Northwest, I believe, in trouble.
I think so.
Well, that's fine. Now we've done it. We've screwed up the jet stream. Damn rockets. All right, thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Watch your weather report. And east of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi there, this is Mike from Peoria.
Hello, Mike.
Well, to put things on a little happier note here, I really did have to grit my teeth for a minute there about the guy with the government
things,
the death and everything. But
the Kevorkian Chamber, Memorial Chambers.
Yeah, I had to kind of grit my teeth on that. I think there's a lot of people in the world that got it a lot worse than us.
You know, you got to ask yourself, though, if they had such government-sponsored institutions of death, how many people do you think would walk through the door?
Boy, I tell you what, things are turned so far upside down these days. It wouldn't surprise me if they had it on CNN and they said, well, all these death camps have started up today and people are lining up in droves. It wouldn't shock me a bit. I tell you something, what I really want to talk to you about.
He's really right about this, I believe. There would be lines. I mean, it'd be more impressive than the opening of a movie, I bet you.
What I really called you about is you got to talking about the Pointer Sisters a while ago.
Oh, I love the Pointer Sisters.
And I know somebody else that you love a lot, and you happened to ask a question within, I think it was within the last week, and you said, boy, you know what I'd really love to have?
A photograph of Maria Muldaur?
Yes. And if you haven't went out and picked, they reissued her first album, which is the one that has Midnight at the Oasis.
Sir, could I ask you to hold through the break? You willing to do that?
Sure.
All right, well then I'll set the mood for it. Here she is. This is Maria. I am told she is one of the cutest. I want to see her photograph when she sang this. I love this song. It's all about my desert, the high desert.
Listening to Rock Bell somewhere in time on Premier Radio Networks. Tonight, an encore presentation of Coast to Coast AM from December 5th, 1995. Somewhere in time on Premier Radio Networks. Tonight, an encore presentation of Coast to Coast AM from December 5th, 1995.
See, when you've got your own talk show, you can do whatever you want. Including playing the same bumper music twice in a row. Not only do I feel very special about Maria, but you know, when it was my birthday, this last time I had my birthday, my wife somehow found Maria Muldaur, found her somewhere out there, and Maria sent me this. Listen.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy 50th birthday to you, Art Bell. Happy birthday to you, and many more. Art, this is Maria Muldaur calling you from the Oasis, wishing you the happiest 50th birthday. Meet me at midnight.
So you ask, yeah, I want a photograph of her. Hi there, you're back on the air again.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I just picked up they just reissued that first album on CD, and I went out and got it. And there is just an incredibly gorgeous picture of her in the sleeve that goes in the CD jacket.
Okie dokie.
And it's really a great CD. I mean, for, even that many years ago, I mean, you've got Dr. John playing keyboards for her.
Oh, listen, this woman's into the blues now.
And Jim Keltner, who used to do work with Eric Clapton and John Lennon, and Ry Cooder playing guitars. I mean, these are no small things.
Oh, I hear you. And did you hear that Happy Birthday? Do you know what that reminded me of?
What's that?
That reminded me of when Marilyn sang Happy Birthday to John.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen to the timbre of the voice, and it's all right there.
Well, I was very fortunate being a musician for most of my life. I got to meet her once.
Really?
And she was one of those type of people that, I don't know, it was very, you just wanted to be in the room with her.
Oh,
and it was only for about maybe 10 minutes or so. Because I happened to be at a party that some managers were throwing.
There are certain things you remember all your life. I once got to kiss Olivia Newton-John.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hey, a lot of people might joke about that, but,
I know they would, but at the time, she was in her serious prime. The eyes were about the deepest blue you've ever seen. Her face was absolutely vibrant, and if you can remember back to the days of what was the name of that movie she did? The musical.
Well, Grease.
Grease, thank you. Grease. If you can remember back to the days of Grease, I went to a press party for her, and I got to kiss her. It was so neat. Since we're reminiscing about things we've done. Listen, sir, thank you very, very much for your call, and I will pick up that CD.
Oh, I'm telling you what. If you thought Olivia's eyes were something, wait till you see Marie's. They'll just melt you right down.
Got you covered. We'll get photographed right here in the studio. Thank you very much. Put it next to the one of Shannon Doherty here. Mr. Bell, a moment of your time to discuss a serious matter. I am very nervous about my new neighbor. I live in an apartment complex full of only one-bedroom apartments. No, I've seen many come and go, but now I'm very nervous about this new one. Art, his name is Steve. And there's a little skull and crossbones there. Imagine my horror when he told me his name. All I could do was grab my crucifix, one I had around my neck, and run away screaming, "Die, spawn of Satan." What actions can I take, Art? Silver bullet through the heart? What? Very disturbed and afraid, Mark in Vegas. And there is a unsmiling face there, Mark. I can't tell you what to do. When you're Steved, it's like you're marked. So you'll just have to sort of take it a day at a time, Mark. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. Hello.
Comment on a miracle, if I may.
You may.
Also, I just talked to my son's friend in Thorn Bay, Alaska yesterday.
Yes.
And she said they've been having nothing but snow there, that it's been up to the knees.
Where is that?
Thorn Bay, that's the southern tip of Alaska.
Oh, you mean down toward the capital?
So in the southern part of Alaska, they're having snow.
Well, that would make sense because the jet stream has come south. So it would make sense that Juneau would be getting dumped on. And by the way, we're going on the air, or we did in Juneau, I don't know which. I think we're going on the air real soon in Juneau with Coast to Coast AM. They already took Greenlight, but we're going to be on the air. So we'll be hearing a lot from Juneau.
Well, this is by Ketchikan.
Ketchikan, okay.
Then Thorn Bay is kind of remote little area. My son is homesteading up there.
Well, you can still do that. They probably got a lot more moisture because they're near the water. Anyway, what about the baby?
Well, it isn't a surprise to me, Art, because I'm hoping to write a book on all the miracles that I have seen in my Christian walk for 30 years.
Well, then I sure would include this one.
I have seen so many miracles. In fact, I held a little miracle on my lap, which kind of goes along with when does life enter the babies. Well, when you plant a flower seed, the life is already there, isn't it? And it starts sprouting very soon. It's the same with human and animal. The sperm is the seed with the life in it for the little baby. I was sitting in Newberry's in Spokane one day, and sitting in a chair in the stew department, and this darling little black girl come up, rolling around, wanting to sit on my lap, She was about 3, I think.
Yes.
That's been about 40 years ago. I wish I could run into her again, but her mother seen I was friendly.
Yes.
And she started talking to me, and I was telling her how cute the little girl was. She was awfully tiny, but she was really cute. And her mother said, well, she's in the World Book of Records, in the Guinness World Book of Records for having been the shortest term baby
that would have been at that time. They have done incredible things since,
Well, she carried her 4 1/2 months.
Oh my gosh!
And that little girl was just as perfect as any could be, except her mother said, "Pardon?"
I said that seems impossible.
I know, but it all adds up because she told me that when she's a couple of years older, all she will need is a light surgery on her female organs because they didn't quite finish developing.
Maturing, yes. All right, ma'am, I've got to run, but thank you very much for the call. And this is right down the alley of what you were just saying. Listen very carefully. The rebirth of the baby is no miracle in the big picture. However, to us it is. I call it the spontaneous regeneration of life created by the mother's love for her child. It was the mother's faith and love and grief that sparked or rekindled the life force from behind the child on the other side. Brought it here, and now. She would make for a great study herself. She's a great mom, teaching us all a lesson in compassion. On the quantum level, a very tiny level, these things happen all the time. It's just rare for us to see or witness them. What is interesting to me is that it took 3.5 hours. Realize our time is relative. She's also teaching us that our belief systems can be flexible and are not set in concrete. I'm sure you'll see and hear more of this kind of miracle, but understand they are not. They are only rare so far in our world. Look around you and examine nature. Even a tiny blade of grass. It is a miracle it is able to grow out of the ground at all. Stop and think about it. Transforming dirt, water, and sunlight into a living thing must be black magic. The seed is always the unmanifest potential. It is always here. Everything is intentional. It's all part of the quickening. Signed, one of your listeners. It is the most cogent facts I've received this morning on what to me is a miracle. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, this is Chris from Peoria.
Okay, Chris, turn your radio off.
Okay, it's off, sir.
Good. Welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Fine.
I just wanted to call and see what the status was on the BBC thing that you were talking about yesterday.
I'm not going to do it.
You just definitely not going to... Did they call you back?
No, they'll probably call today.
BBC,
I'm not going to do it.
I had sent you a fax. I didn't know if you got it.
You know, I get all kinds of... I did, yes, thank you. I get all kinds of invitations of that kind, or to go out on the road and do a show here or there. And, you know, I don't do it. The reason I don't do it is because when I get out of my element, I don't do the same kind of program.
Well, it's too bad they couldn't do something where they didn't actually want to come into your studio.
Or when a camera, it's the same as when a camera comes in here. It throws me off my game.
Well, it kind of takes away from it, too.
I'm used to this sort of one-on-one deal that I have here in my quiet little studio, you know, and it's a very special kind of magic, and when I tamper with it, it kicks me in the butt.
Does it? So it doesn't come out as...
It doesn't, no, it doesn't come out the same.
I'm kind of interested to see if they call you back and see what they have to say.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll call today, and I'm sure they'll be very disappointed. They'll say, well, why? And then I'll have to try to explain it, and so...
They may not understand that. They don't have that over there, radio shows like you have. They only have, 4 TV stations there, you know, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right. No,
like
that's
NBC,
right.
ABC, CBS, stuff like that over there. But
I know, and they don't have presenters, and it's really a very different kind of television, but...
Yeah.
After I thought about it, I thought, well, if a camera is invasive, or I feel it is, and it throws me off my game, then it's invasive. I don't care whether it's the British camera or American camera, doesn't matter, it's invasive.
Well, I was kind of interested that they were going to do a show on you because when I was over there, they're like almost 10 years behind on TV shows in general. You know, they were like, when I was there, they were just starting to show Charlie's Angels and stuff like that.
Really?
I'm not kidding.
When was that?
I was there from 84 to 88.
84 to 80. All right, so thank you very much.
All right.
Take care. No, I'm not going to do it. And I really, really, really hate turning these things down all the time, you know. It makes me feel like a poop. But I've learned that. I've learned that I don't like TV. And I don't like going out and doing shows in front of audiences and that kind of thing. It's a quirk of mine. And I am best when I am in my own element. I am best when I am not thinking, for example, about a big audience out there. You know what? I don't do that. Even though I know there's a lot of radio stations and millions of people, I block it out. And it's sort of like I talk to you one at a time. Or like I'm talking to one person. But when the reality is, it's like I went on vacation. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. I went on vacation to Mazatlan. When I did, I went down to LAX. When I flew into LAX, and I looked out the airplane window down at Los Angeles below me, it totally freaked me out. I said, I'm on the air there? Oh man, how do I do it? And it freaked me out. And then at LAX, I had a lot of time. You know, you always have time at LAX, unfortunately. So I went out, and smoked my cigarette, sitting in front of LAX, and I was watching the people. They were running, most of them, and moving very fast. And I just sat there quietly next to the ashtray, exiled from those inside because I wanted to smoke and I didn't want to go to the glass enclosure, stupid glass enclosure. So I watched, and there were millions of people. And I sat there and I thought, how do I do it? If I had to really see these people, I couldn't do it. And so when I'm in front of an audience, or I realize that, or I begin to think about the size of the audience, it totally screws me up. And it doesn't take much. And a camera in here, that'd do it. Screw me up totally. So, I don't do it. I just sort of live within my world and my own little zone of comfort here and try not to think about it all. And then it works. And if I think about it or over-intellectualize it, which is something I tend to do, it gets me, bites me right in the butt. First time caller line, you're on the air.
I'd like to revisit the Bosnia subject.
Okay.
And tell you about the way I have interpreted this thing over the last couple of years. It's been obvious through the newspapers, and it's reported widely that the Serbs have always had superior firepower.
Yes.
They have been unable to defeat or achieve a victory against the Muslims. In any event, I think that if we were able to release this embargo, I think that very quickly this thing would come to a stalemate.
Well, exactly right. Thank you for the call, and that's what the big fight's going to be about. Bob Dole has delayed the vote in the Senate for a couple of really good reasons. One, he doesn't have the votes. Two, he wants an end strategy, an end to the Bosnian incursion, clearly defined. And part of that end is rearming the Bosnians. The president is not willing to do that. Still not willing to do that. And for the U.S. to go in and do what we're about to do, and then to leave without giving the Bosnians the opportunity to defend themselves is one of the most totally insane things I've ever heard in my whole life. So one can only sit and puzzle at the president's inscrutable, and it is inscrutable, foreign policy ideas. I just absolutely cannot understand what this man is all about. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, WKXY, Sarasota.
Sarasota.
The death clinic,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a hopelessness when people give the welfare or responsibility of their living over to the government. They're too willing to turn the responsibility of their dying over.
Yep.
Okay? And on the BBC, now you've got the camera coming in. And
No, I don't.
No, I mean, you're not going to do it. But
No, I'm not.
this is why I agree with you. Okay, the camera and the people and the lights, and then the pictures they get are not the pictures that we get when we listen.
You couldn't be more right on the money.
And then what you tell them is that you've got a cat named Abby,
Yep.
who is an old stick in the mud and he doesn't want him on his turf.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's as good a line as any. Thank you, dear.
Okay, dear.
Bye-bye. I'm just going to tell them the truth. It's what I keep telling them. I don't like it. I don't like TV. I don't like going out in crowds. I don't like going up on stage. You know the radio stations I used to have where they would have like a glass cubicle? I hated that. I did that. I've done that in my career where it's like you're a fish in a fishbowl, you know, and you're doing a radio show. And people can come by and look in at you. They peer in at you like you're a little goldfish or something. It totally unnerved me. Totally unnerved me. And it's not the same. So I'm going to try to be smart enough not to allow things to change on this radio program. I don't care how big it gets. I wouldn't do it any differently if it were one radio station, or the 241 it is now, or the 500 it might be. I don't want it to change. Wildcard line, you're on the air.
Hi, Art.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Okay.
Well, it's been raining real hard here in Utah.
Really? Well, that's because the jet stream is sweeping down over that part of the country.
Yeah. Well, it was real strange. We hardly even got a drop during November. It's like the past 50 years, like there's only been 4 years like that. About every 15 years or something like that.
Well, angels don't play that harp, sir.
I heard that show. I think you outdid yourself on that one.
Well, I always try to outdo myself.
Very interesting. I've been noticing, like in the networks and that I've been listening to your show for about a year and that, and I've been, it seems like a lot of the networks are starting to pick up on the type of stuff you do.
I know. Isn't it something?
It's something else.
I wonder about that myself. I marvel at that. That a lot of what people used to tell me I was absolutely out of my mind for putting on the air, now is showing up as regular fare on the regular broadcast networks. It blows my mind.
It is.
So I'm happy about that. I mean, it's like people are waking up. Not all is negative. A lot of consciousness out there is being raised.
Well, maybe there's hope.
Sir, there's always hope.
Right. Well, good night, Art.
You take care. And to our first-time caller line, without a lot of time, you're on the air.
Good morning, Art. This is Bill in Portland.
Hi, Bill. We don't have a lot of time.
I sent you the facts about the baby in Kalamazoo.
Oh, yes.
Possibly having the Ben gene as being an immortal.
Several people said that baby might be an immortal. And it might. It might. I think it is. I think it's the neatest story that I've heard all year long. Listen, the show is over. There's only time for you to have the great honor of the night.
Well, thank you very much. And America, good night, America.
That's the way to do it. From the high desert, good night, America.
July 16, 1996.
From the high desert and the great American Southwest, I bid you all good evening, good morning, across all these many time zones, from the Hawaiian and Tahitian island chain all the way east over flyover country to the Caribbean and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Good morning in St. Thomas, down to South America, north to the pole, worldwide. Yes, worldwide on the internet. This is Coast to Coast AM. Good to be with you. A programming note. Now, who else would do this? It will compete with my show in the Western time zone, but Nightline tonight. We'll do a show about UFOs and light from elsewhere, and that'll be in about a half hour from now. Who else gives away their audience? Those of you that are in time zones that have already seen it, I caught the last 5 minutes of it. Isn't that awful? We will, of course, record it here in a half hour, but I caught the last 5 minutes of it. And it seemed to leave the question open. I guess they really have no choice, did they? Since we don't know. Is life frequent? Is life infrequent? Are we alone? Would that be sad? You know, that sort of thing at the very end. But I did not catch the body of the program. Somebody else wrote and said basically it was no good. But I wouldn't make that judgment till I saw it, and I will depend on your judgment. So Nightline, all about the kind of things we talk about many times. Now, the stock market was quite remarkable today. I watched it. I'm very, very interested in the market, and I don't know why, actually, because I'm not invested in the market. I don't have money. I have no money in the market at all, but I'm fascinated by it. And it went down around 1 o'clock in the afternoon to about 167 points. And at that point, the little talking heads were coming on CNN saying, this is it, free fall. Everybody is selling at any price. It's the end. You know, and then, of course, it came back and ended up plus 9 points by the end of the day. And I told you yesterday, I've learned over a long period of time that can easily occur. The volatility will no doubt continue tomorrow, I would imagine. And it's hard to say where it's going to go. But it sure is interesting to watch. And I don't know why. Maybe it's that end of the world thing. No. So watch the market. If you anybody have any idea why it is so interesting to watch the market? I'm not sure myself. Michael Irvin has apologized. He has received 4 years probation as part of a plea bargain. And I frankly, I kind of bought his apology. I thought it was heartfelt, and I kind of felt sorry for him. I mean, it really was a good apology. It doesn't exactly change the question, and that is whether, the one I asked yesterday, and that is whether if you or I were caught with cocaine, whether we would have the opportunity to get probation as he did. I kind of doubt it. So did he get this because he's Michael Irvin? Yeah, probably to some degree. But his apology did seem to me to be heartfelt. And I'm not sure what he's going to do now. He's going to go home, he's going to talk to his wife, and he's going to think about his future, and he may or may not play football. Boris Yeltsin's back, maybe. The vice president, not exactly a physician, said why he looks good. But everybody else seemed to observe that he didn't look good at all. He was slow, pale, not looking good at all, in some sort of health retreat, which I think they've renamed. It's a hospital, actually. So I don't think Yeltsin's in very good shape, no matter what you may hear from the VP. All have had athletes test positive for steroids. This is kind of interesting. One British doctor said that, in his opinion, 75% of the people competing use some kind of drugs, illegal drugs, steroids, whatever. And that the facilities to detect these drugs are not keeping pace with the ability of the athletes to mass use drugs. So I guess win at any price, eh? As seismologists, this is rather interesting. At Columbia University in New York, this, by the way, is Reuters, are reporting what they say is a major and surprising find. Listen to this. The researchers say they've measured the motion of the Earth's solid inner core for the first time and found, guess what? It rotates faster than the planet itself. Think about that. They found that the inner core rotates in the same direction as the Earth, but completes its once-a-day rotation about 2/3 of a second more quickly than the entire planet. The scientists say this discovery could lead to a greater understanding of earthquakes and knowledge about the Earth's magnetic field. The research is published in the current issue of the journal Nature. So the core, the solid core now they're talking about, of the Earth is actually going faster than the Earth itself. Now, isn't that something to contemplate? Again, the latest poll politically says Mr. Dole continues to lose ground about 24 points, and George Will, as I told you yesterday, beginning to talk about an insurrection at the convention. I got a letter from a listener earlier today addressed to Mr. Barber, Haley Barber. And I'll read it to you, and you see if you agree or disagree with this. Dear Chairman Barber, the choice of Susan Molinari to be the keynote speaker at the Republican convention is unacceptable and an insult to all pro-life Republicans. Susan Molinari's pro-death views, his words, are a terrible thing to contemplate to all pro-lifers, and her choice to be the keynote speaker is tantamount to a slap in the face of all pro-life Republicans. Now, Bob Dole should immediately withdraw his name from consideration as the Republican candidate, and you, Mr. Barber, should resign. You and your cronies in the Eastern pro-death liberal wing of the Republican Party are so totally out of touch with the mainstream Republicans that unless you resign and Bob Dole releases his delegates to an open convention, both of you will be blamed for a Democratic sweep of the House and Senate, as well as the re-election of the president in November. We want an open convention in San Diego. We want Bob Dole to either withdraw his candidacy or release his delegate before the first ballot. Greenville is not going to do that, of course. And then this piece of email, Dear Art, there is no great surprise that Bill Clinton is 24 points ahead of Bob Dole, according to the latest polls, in spite of the sleazy conduct of the first couple and their cabinet over the past 3 years. Simply put, women voters find Bill Clinton very vibrant and attractive. And like JFK, whose approval ratings were rarely above 50% throughout his term, Clinton has become a political juggernaut because of the, quote, gender gap, unquote. Moreover, Dole and the Republicans face a Geritol gap, that is, seniors falsely believe the Republicans want to do away with Medicare and Social Security benefits. Now that this image is lodged firmly in the collective consciousness of American seniors, Dole and Gingrich are powerless to prevent the Democrat landslide in '96. Now, this is a little bit of a study in human nature for you. I came on the air very, very excited last night, as I am still tonight, about this amazing crop circle at Stonehenge. Now, you've never seen anything like it. Do you remember when we had a talk and I said no matter what the evidence of anything, people would doubt? Well, I would say 90% of you, in responding by email and fax, have been as amazed by it as I have been. But I've really, after I tell you what's up there again, I've really got to read you a couple of faxes that perfectly point out, illustrate my opinion about, no matter the evidence, how some people will disbelieve. Now, Linda Moulton Howe reported on the crop circle Sunday, a remarkable one at Stonehenge. And it is 915 feet long, 508 feet wide, covers 10 acres, and is composed of 151 circles, ranging in size from 6 to 60 feet. That's big. We have a good, high detail, color aerial photograph of this crop circle, the Stonehenge background. And I would guess, no less than 300 pieces of email and faxes and so forth about this, responding to it. I couldn't keep my mailbox clear. So here are just two faxes that will, I guess, illustrate for you the great body of everything I got. Fax 1. Wow! Well, to all the naysayers, look at this and weep. If there ever was one that you could hang your hat on, this is it. It passes the Missouri test. I don't know who's in charge up there, but thank you for giving us such a beautiful sign. Oh yeah, thank you for doing it in the crops instead of some other places. Enough said. So this is the Venerable Alexander in South Carolina. Typical of about 90% of what I got. Now remember, there have been people examining this crop circle. Remember, a pilot has signed a piece of paper saying that crop circle was not there 15 minutes beforehand. Other people on the ground saying the same thing. He signed a deposition to that fact, as a matter of fact. Then comes this fax. Email. Art. I listened to all the raves about the picture on last night's show. It's true, it is a lovely image, but I think it was created on a photo editing software. Thus, the elaborate fractal image superimposed on an otherwise perfectly good aerial view of Stonehenge. Somebody in England sure is having a lot of fun with this stuff. So you see, no matter what it is, here is somebody who is convinced that they took a picture of aerial view of Stonehenge and superimposed or did a bit of computer fun and made this picture up. So it does not matter the fact that people have been walking in it, that there's been a scientific examination of it. It does not matter that thousands have now seen it. This person is not going to believe that what they're seeing is real. Period. I don't care what you say to them, that it is from somebody named Linda, and she is not going to believe that it is real, no matter what. And I just thought that's sort of an interesting study in human nature. Now, a couple of... I promised I would do this, and if I have time, I'm going to do it. Last night, somebody called and said, gee, you had promised to reread that vampire thing, and I had promised and did not do it last night. I will do it tonight. Now, don't forget, tomorrow night, the Libertarian candidate for the party, Harry Brown, is going to be my guest. And it's going to be a very, very interesting show. If you're interested in libertarianism, you definitely do not want to miss it. And then Courtney Brown, professor from Emory University, is going to be here on Friday night, Saturday morning, talking about remote viewing. And he has been remote viewing Mars as a target. And I suspect he's going to have a lot of very interesting stuff to say. So tonight we'll have open lines, and it should be fun. Stay right where you are. Just a couple of notes. Unmarried teens. Really interesting. In 1994, there were 393,000 babies born to unwed teens. Of that number, 300,000 are receiving public benefits. Tax money. In Idaho, They have exorcised a 75-year-old law and actually put on trial and convicted, well, it was a couple, 17-year-old girl and a 16-year-old boy, 16-year-old girl, preggers, and as she's delivered now, she decided to fight charge, and she was convicted of fornication. Fornication! Now, that's, of course, fornication just means unmarried sex. It's okay when you have a license. If you don't have a license, then it's fornication legal. Now, the young lady caught it because she said, look, yeah, I had sex. I got pregnant. I got a baby. But why are you just arresting me? Because the law on fornication applies to everybody. All the adults, too. And I've been considering that argument. I think we certainly need to do something about this teenage sex problem. Or the teenage pregnancy problem. But I'm not sure that arresting people for fornication. And frankly, I sort of agree with her. In other words, if they are going to arrest her for a law that applies to everybody, then they've almost, and by the way, they did not arrest her until she applied for public assistance. Now, I realize it's a problem. We sure need to do something about it. But frankly, it seems to me she's got kind of a case. If they were to, now I know Idaho's a pretty conservative state, but if they were to go around Idaho and virtually police everybody, equal enforcement of the law, in other words, and they were to begin arresting everybody who had sex without benefit of the holy matrimony or license or whatever, I rather doubt any of the Idaho jails could hold them all. Right? I don't think they build that many jails up in Idaho. Maybe they do. I don't know. But if they're going to enforce such a law, it seems to me it should be, as she argues, equally enforced. There has got to be a better way to get stop teens from having babies and then going on public dole. Anyway, bottom of the hour. We'll be right back. One more thing, and then open lines.
This is Premier Network. That was Art Bell hosting Coast to Coast AM on this Somewhere in Time. Featuring Coast to Coast AM from July 16, 1996.
Here's a little jewel for you. Dear Art, this evening on Los Angeles News, there was a report from Northridge, the place where the earthquake was. Several pet dogs were basically skinned, all their hair pulled out, and the reproductive organs removed and taken. No suspects yet. Somebody is suggesting satanic worshippers. Great. And that leads very nicely into this next little ditty. You're going to love this. It is from the state of Washington. And I've got some response to it since I read it several nights ago. Dear Miss Bell, please, sir, you must listen to me. I have met a vampire on the internet. And for the last few days now, I've been afraid to sleep because of what might happen to me in my dreams. It appears this vampire is using the net as a way to meet its victims. It also appears this particular vampire doesn't drink blood, but it does try to seduce you so it can steal your body for one of its demonic friends. On the night this all happened, I was so scared that I locked up the house, got out a white bar of soap, and marked all my windows with crosses. Here is a transcript of what occurred on the internet. It is 2 pages and double type, so I'll be able to get through it here quickly. I was in this chat room, a kind of cyber singles bar located on the web. I was contacted by what I believe to be a female who introduced herself as Claudia. She told me she was a vampire. Asked me if I wanted to chat. First I thought it was some kind of stupid joke, so I agreed to chat. She sent me a description of herself. There we go, right? Told me she liked to dress up in black skin-tight spandex bodysuits with black knee-high, high-heeled leather boots and black leather gloves. She described herself as looking as if she was 17. Actually, she was much older. She said she had white, almost pale-colored skin, long dark hair, big brown eyes, long slender legs, and a small oval face. Sounds cute, huh? I asked her if she was going to suck my blood or something, and she told me real vampires don't do that. She said that if I wanted her, I mean really wanted her, that I would give her my soul. I said, okay. She said that tonight she would come to me in my dreams, and that tonight I would be a king. She also told me if I wanted it, that she could come to me in any form, male or female. I told her I loved women and that she would do just fine. She said that tonight I would journey to the other world. She said that tonight I would be king. Tomorrow I would be one of them. She told me the land of the dead and the world of dreams are one and the same. I was then told to remove any religious symbols or pictures and Christian Bibles from my room. I was told that, if possible, I should leave some access to my room open. I was also told that she had some problems going through doors, windows, and walls. I was even told that the sex could be 10 times better if I would just take the time to break an egg into a small bowl and then urinate on it. I was told I should sprinkle some urine on my feet before I went to bed at night. Yuck. I was told that the bowl was supposed to be placed at the foot of my bed. The egg and urine was supposed to be some kind of offering. I was told the offering was being made to its Tuksamen, whoever that is, Tuksamen. She then promised me the best sex I'd ever had. She told me my orgasm would last forever, that when I awoke, I'd be in another world, a world of magic and dreams. She told me that this new world was also known as the etheric plane. She told me when she came for me, my soul would leave my body. She said that once I was in her arms, she'd break the fine silver cord attached to the top of my head, and that my body would be given to another, someone much stronger. Finally, she said that the other name for this person, this Tuksamen, was the soul sucker. That's it. Then I received these. Art, remember a few shows ago when you read a fax on the air, said that it was from someone who said they'd met a vampire on the internet somewhere on IRC? Well, I'll tell you, I've been hunting for her because I want to ask her some questions. And I won't do anything to get myself, quote, in trouble, end quote, now, right? Believe me. Well, that guy said her name was Claudia, and I went into a vampire room and asked someone if they'd seen her. They have vampire rooms? Anyway, he said he spoke to her yesterday. Maybe it's the same Claudia or not, but I think it is, and I'll keep you posted. By the way, that night when you read the facts, I really couldn't and didn't want to sleep. It was kind of frightening to me. And then this. Your listener who sent the account of the internet vampire is indeed doomed. This particular vampire is an incubus or succubus, a sexual predator who steals souls from unknowing individuals, draining them like the classic vampire. Usually, they can be warded off with any religious symbol as long as the faith of the user is strong. In other words, the cross won't work if you don't believe in God. I hope Dominique in Washington is well. So, there you've got it. The old, the ancient, the occult, moves to the new, the amazing, the enveloping internet. Truly a marriage made in hell. Oh my. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Boy, that was a good story about those vampires.
Did you like that?
Monterey Dave, yeah.
Monterey Dave. Well, it was kind of like that yesterday on Wall Street.
Yeah, that was exciting. Just remember, though, about the vampires, don't go towards the light. At any rate, yesterday on Wall Street, it was awesome.
Yes.
In fact, in the 1930s, they had the same thing occur on Black Thursday. Then the volume increased over the next couple of days of that week, and it finally hit 33 million shares were traded. And guess what? We broke an all-time record just the other day. I think it was 680 million shares traded hands.
That was today. That's approaching, 2/3 of a trillion shares.
That's right. It was today. And so it's an exact duplicate. And look, you see the harsh, punitive economic policy that the Republicans were instituting back then. They want a constitutional balanced budget amendment. They want to restrict monetary and fiscal policy. They're trying to balance the budget on the backs of the poor. Exactly.
Wait a minute. Now, are you blaming this volatility and the 160-point loss the other day on the Republicans?
Yes, on the new freshman Republicans attempting to balance the budget. They're restricting the economy to deflationary levels. I've told you this over and over again.
I think you're having an inner ear problem.
No,
yes, you are, because none of this was made into law, nor is likely to be made into law. So the market cannot be reacting to something that's not happening. You are out of your tree.
No, there's the rational expectations model where people believe what's happening and they know that.
Or from the north, sir, you're out of your tree. You're out of your tree. Absolutely, you're wrong.
Well, let me finish.
If there's a problem in the market, this is on you know whose watch.
Yeah, but it's the freshman Republicans who are restricting the monetary policy, just like Herbert Hoover did.
Oh, please. I can't take that. You know, that's too asinine. Go sell that somewhere else. Please. This is not something the freshman Republicans have managed to get through. I would even argue with you that it would be causing market troubles had they managed to get it through, but they didn't, and there's no chance they will. So the market absolutely was not reacting to that, and you can only have cooked that up in your ideological, narrow little mind so that you can make a call saying something nasty about the Republicans. Look, take it easy on the Republicans. They've got Bob Dole right now. They've got troubles. Just lay off, will you? East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Yes, Jack in Charleston, South Carolina.
Hello, Jack.
I had a few comments on the Nightline tonight, which you said you'll be taping to the West Coast.
I am taping it as we speak, and I suspect a lot of people here in the West are watching it. What did you think? Was it good?
Well, overall, I agree with that earlier factor or whatever, that it was pretty much a waste of time. But interesting, the beginning of the program, they showed was supposed to be in the Air Force tape where they were using camera and telescope to track incoming space debris.
Yes.
And what they showed, possible UFO, unknown, whatever, to me looked like the Enterprise, from Star Trek on edge, like in profile. That's what it reminded me of.
No kidding.
That's what it very much reminded me of. One thing, there was a anthropology professor from Rutgers on, and to me, basically what he was saying was he doesn't believe there's any life anywhere in the entire universe except our planet.
No kidding.
I think that's pretty much of a brain-dead person to think something like that.
Well, anything is possible, short of, I appreciate your call, sir, but we've got to consider it is possible. It is possible. For all the research we're doing on arts parts, by the way, somebody sent me a photograph of a store down in Phoenix, Arizona, called Arts Parts. I about fell off the couch. I had to scan it and put it up on the internet. There it is, Arts Parts. It's a store in Phoenix. Next to a convenience store or something. It was really funny. Look, short of proof about little gray guys or any other colored guys coming down in saucers, real smoking gun proof, and right now I may be holding the material that is closest to that. And in the end, I doubt that we're going to be able to prove that it has come from elsewhere. You never know, maybe, but I doubt it. So, short of absolute proof, you have to embrace the possibility that we are alone. I don't really like that, and I don't think most people do. Do you? It wouldn't be sort of sad, all these worlds, all these suns, all these Saganish billions and billions of planets out there, no doubt, and we would be the only intelligent life. On the first-time caller line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
This is Steve from Tacoma.
Hello, Steve.
I've been listening to your show, and you have some people out there that know a little about supernatural things, and I had something kind of freaky happen to me today.
Okay.
Me and my friend were at the grocery store, so I know this wasn't something that I just saw. We're sitting there, my girlfriend was in the grocery store, and we were waiting out in the parking lot, and there was this crow I noticed on top of a grocery store.
Oh, yes.
And he was looking at us.
Yes.
And I sat there and I was joking with him, saying, you know, it's not a good thing when a crow's sitting there just staring at you, because it just sat there and stared at us.
Mm-hmm.
And,
well, that's bad enough. But if they begin to sneer at you, that's really bad.
Well, this crow just had a blank look on his face, this face. So he was looking at it too, and we were joking around. Yeah. And then the thing just vanished in thin air right in front of us. We didn't look away and turn back, and it was gone. It just both disappeared. It just disappeared as we're both looking at it. And we just kind of both looked at each other. And
well, I've got a little advice for you.
What's that?
If I were you, I wouldn't sleep tonight. What are you laughing at?
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm up right now. I usually don't stay up this late, but when I do, I listen to you, and so I have no idea what that means. And
well, I don't know. I mean, do you care about your soul?
Yeah.
Stay awake.
I think I'm going to be doing that for a while.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye. Actually, I have no idea. I just thought I'd collect another listener who'll be with us till the end of the show. Rest of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Oh, hi, Art. This is Bunny from Clear Lake, California.
Well.
Last night, I don't know if you heard, I heard that a 41-year-old heir to the Rothschild fortune killed himself in France. And
oh, no.
I was just wondering if it had anything to do with...
all that money, why would he kill himself?
I was just wondering if it had anything to do with what Robert Morningstar was talking about, how some heir was supposed to be the one. Maybe he didn't like the idea of being the one.
You mean the anti-guy?
Yeah.
You think,
Jesus.
Maybe what he did is, maybe he went into the bathroom and he was innocently brushing his zillion-dollar teeth as he does every morning, and he looked down and he saw 3 6s hidden in the hairline as it was receding, and that was it. He couldn't take it. He went, that's got to be it, Bonnie. Thank you. Ooh. Soul suckers. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Scott.
Hello, Scott. Where are you?
I'm over in Milwaukee area.
Milwaukee. Okay. Yes, sir.
I have a question for you. I know you're a ham radio operator.
I am.
And I'm wondering if you ever listened on 5 megahertz, and if you ever heard these stations out of Mexico, number broadcasters, and I'm wondering if you know anything of what they're doing. They just sit and read numbers off onto the air.
Well, of course, 5 megahertz is WWV.
Well, right around 5 megahertz. It's up above 5 megahertz.
Just up above, huh? And they read numbers?
Yeah, all they do is cinco, dos, tres, cuatro.
Yes, it's all code, usually meaning something like meet you at Mina at 4. No, I don't know what they are. I have no idea.
I was just tuning around, and I heard them in there, and I wonder if Art would know what the heck these things are.
ETA, Mina for AM.
There you go.
No, something like that. I mean, who knows? No, I know of what you speak. It's probably a code. It probably is related to drug trafficking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. If there's some drug traffickers or some nuts out there like that. I don't know, it just seemed real weird to me. I come across that, and I'm like, what in the world is this?
There's a lot of weird stuff up there, boy. I'll
There's
tell
a
you.
lot of weird stuff everywhere, Art.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. He's making a very good. The shortwave is really, really neat, and you really need to get into it. If you're not listening to shortwave, you need to. You can hear these weird little political stations down in Central America, and they transmit horrendously libelous stuff. Of course, they do it from the sanctity of hiding. They string up antennas and do their transmitting, and then scurry away later. And they go to different locations, and so it's kind of fun to listen to. There's a lot of pirates up there and stuff like that. And then international broadcasting itself is very interesting. Shortwave is a blast. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Art. Steve from South Dakota.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, I got some great news.
Okay.
If anybody's going to be in Sioux Falls, July 27th and 28th, they're having the ICAAR Great Plains UFO Conference.
Really?
And Dr. Stanley McDaniel's going to be there.
As you know, I interviewed him a week ago.
John Anthony West. Captain Kevin Randall, retired.
Right.
Bud Hopkins.
Right.
Paul Davids, Daryl Sims, Dr. Jack Casher.
Now, there's one I haven't interviewed. First one.
I don't think I've ever heard of him.
Right.
But I just thought I'd let everybody know that. I just found out about it today.
Are you going to go?
Oh, yes, I am, definitely.
The Great Plains UFO Conference. I didn't know they had them out there. That's good to know.
It's sponsored by ICAAR. It's out of New Hampshire. It's a nationwide thing. It was on your webpage for Stan McDaniel.
Oh, that would be the Jump Stands webpage.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And are you going to have that picture of that crop circle in your newsletter?
Absolutely.
Good.
In the meantime, thank you. I want to urge everybody to go up there and get it. Can you believe this person sent me that? Has a perfectly good, accurate picture of Stonehenge, but they've obviously computer generated this crop circle, which proves to me that no matter how good the evidence of anything would be, there would be people who would doubt it. I mean, if this is not absolute proof of that, I don't know what is. Now, I'm not saying this is absolute proof of ETs, but I'll tell you one thing for sure. That crop circle absolutely is there. This is no computer manifestation of or trickery or anything like that. And yet, that's exactly what this person said. A lot of fun, but obviously a fake. Well, it's not just a fake. It's not a fake at all. That crop circle really is there. You need to take a look at it. It is astounding. It's on my webpage, which is www.artbell.com. That's www.artbell.com. We break here at the top of the hour. Who knows what lies ahead? Uncharted talk waters, I would say.
The trip back in time continues with Art Bell hosting Coast to Coast AM. More Somewhere in Time coming up. Premier Networks presents Art Bell, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from July 16th, 1996.
We can talk about songless and its indecipherable ups and downs. Or we could talk about the downward dole prospects. Matter of fact, Bob Dole lately sounds like Boris Yeltsin looks. Rough, so I don't know what good dredge out of that. Or we could talk about unmarried teens who are being arrested in Idaho and charged with fornication. Fornication! And a 17-year-old girl, a baby. They arrested her for fornication. And she's saying, un moment. Now, this isn't quite fair because if you're going to arrest me for fornication, I don't know that this fornication law says anything about 17 and under, or 21 and under. It speaks of everybody, so I particularly, of course, would like to hear from Idaho. Now, if they were to go around arrest these sex police in Idaho, I understand that it's a noble thing they're trying to do, put a curb on teenage pregnancy, but this is not the way to do it. Unless you want to modify the law to apply to those under 21, make fornication okay at the age of consent, 21, but fornication without benefit of marriage earlier than that would be against the law. Then you'd have something. But as the law stands right now, seems to me to be applicable to everybody. In the Idaho jails, it'd be real full. Or we could talk about vampires. I read the internet vampire story a few moments ago, and now I have received this. Listen now. Arthur, I've been away for some time now, but I returned tonight to hear you speaking of Claudia and her exploits on the internet's IRC channels. I fear the harm has already been done, but I sincerely hope if you read this to your audience, it will help to curb some of what is certain to occur. Our friend Claudia is indeed an immortal. I think she calls herself a vampire simply because there are so many people, especially on the internet, who are fascinated with vampires. Now, see, I didn't know that. She uses Claudia because that is the name of the child vampire in Anne Rice's novel, Interview with the Vampire, which has been recently brought to life in the form of a movie. I just have to say to all of those people who have heard your show that what Claudia and her type are doing is purely evil. And by reading that letter, not only have thousands of victims been lured to the vampire rooms on the internet, but many, many of Claudia's kind are now aware of the grand pool of victims present there as well. Indeed, as you have undoubtedly surmised, there are a great deal of immortals who listen to your show. Yes, I know that. Please, to all those listening, do not fall victim. You will lose your soul. As some callers have previously stated, religious symbols will protect the faithful. However, there are immortal predators that are not affected by that sort of thing. So there you have it. And then this art, vampires on the internet. Well, what do I say? Superstition lives, eh? Maybe you should open a vampire line. Matt in Portland. Matt, you're a genius. Yes, a vampire line. I have never talked to a vampire. Now, I've got a computer sitting right here. I have time to go up there and take a look and see if there are vampire rooms. I've never seen one. Now, anyway, I hereby and officially, and I will screen the calls. I'm warning you ahead of time. When I have special function lines, I screen my calls. Yes, a vampire line. Are there really any vampires out there? Now, this is a great promo for the show that I'm going to be doing Sunday, because I am going to be doing the first program I've ever done on Greenland on vampires. Konstantinos is going to be my guest, author of Vampires, the Occult Truth. And you can darn well bet I will save this story, internet story, for Konstantinos. And so we're going to do a show about vampires. But in the meantime, I thought tonight that Matt here in Portland is dead on the money. Let us do it. Let us open a vampire line. Only vampires. Real vampires. Anybody caught joking around, if I can recognize your voice, and after all the years of doing this, I'm getting very good. Anybody joking around will be ejected for all time, eternal, on this program. So unless you're a serious vampire, don't you call this in. Only real vampires. Serious vampires. Area code 702-727-1222. That is, as of this moment, my vampire line. 702-727-1222. Incubus, soul slaves. Are they real? Apparently they are on the internet. One quick note. Hello, Art. D from Peoria, Illinois. I've been listening to you talking about the Levitron spinning top. Have you gotten one to levitate? If so, how long did it take you to be successful at it? The sad answer is an honest no. I have not. Now, let me tell you the story. The Levitron is a most amazing device. And when I got it, I unpacked it and I said, cool! Levitation, I've got to see this. And so for the next 2 hours, I fumbled and fumbled and fumbled. And I couldn't get it to levitate. And I got angry at it. And I almost threw it through a window, actually. You see, it's a bit of a puzzle. Now, I'm going to admit a truth to you. I restrained myself. I'm older now. I don't throw things through windows, so I said I will give it to my son. I gave it to my son. I said, here, take this. Enjoy. Here, there's a videotape. Go watch it. Let me see if you can do it. Well, sadly, embarrassingly, about 20 minutes later, he came into the living room, laid down the magnetic base, took the Levitron, went, whoosh, lifted it up, and that Levitron sat there levitating in space, minute after embarrassing minute after embarrassing minute, and he kept doing it and doing it and doing it. So, the answer to the question is, I have not yet done it. That, however, obviously does not mean that it cannot be done. In fact, a determined 15-year-old can embarrass his father in about 5 minutes with the Levitron. So I've got another one, and I'm going to dedicate myself. I mean, if he can do it, I know damn well I can do it. That's the answer to that. There's also a picture of the Levitron levitating on my webpage. And get that crop circle photograph, Stonehenge. It is www.artbell.com. www.artbell.com. Back to the lines in a moment. Back to it we go. Now, say I've already screened out a whole bunch of calls on the vampire line, people that are not vampires. Anybody calling, I'm telling you, on that line who is not a real serious attempt at being a vampire on my show is dog meat. They're more than vampires. I mean, they're just out of luck. For all I know, they are real. And they do suck souls. Who knows? East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi. This is Josh from Wyoming, Michigan.
Hello, Josh.
I was curious, have you ever heard of anything called true gravity?
True gravity?
Yeah.
Is that anything like true grit?
No. It's some sort of state of mind. I work with a guy, and he told me about this today. It was kind of eerie because what it is I didn't get the whole gist of the whole thing, but it's the state of mind where you control what you do really well, So you do things really well.
Yeah.
And we were really bored today. It was kind of slow. So I had a tape ball. And about 20 yards away and 15 feet in the air, there's a 5x5 opening, 5 inches. And he was like, okay, throw it in there. So I threw it, I missed it by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me about the true gravity. And he said, what it is you don't think. You just let your body do what it can do. Do it naturally. So I whipped around, I threw it, and it like went straight through this opening. Really kind of interesting. With a little food for thought.
Well, it sounds more like a concentration meditation.
Yeah, that's along the lines of what it is.
Yeah.
And he said there's a book on it called Golf in the Kingdom.
Golf in the Kingdom. All right.
I'm not sure what it is. Just a little food for thought for you.
Appreciate your call, sir. Thank you. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hey, Art, what's happening?
You. At the moment.
Okay. I want to ask a question real quick.
Sure.
About 10 years ago, I'm 29, my brother's 33.
Yes.
And we were watching a show, and I think it was something like along the lines of a current affair. The situation was, they were talking about alien abduction with these three people in a small town in Kansas.
Yes.
Situation happened. They started talking about it. They came up with this story about when Bob Dole becomes president, then aliens will finally make themselves known. Now, the crazy thing about it, that at the time, Bob Dole wasn't known.
Well, I would say that Bob Dole's becoming president is as likely as landing on the White House lawn.
I agree with that, too. But my question is...
God, I feel so sorry saying things like that.
My question is can anyone verify, because me and my brother both remember it, but...
Well, I can't, but maybe, somebody...
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe someone else would. And another question, I just started listening to your show, and I can physically blame you for almost being fired now for staying up for the past week till early in the morning. But my question is, what is the chaos theory?
Somebody else would be, I can sort of give you a brief explanation of it, thank you. Somebody else, I'm sure, could do much better. But basically, if you saw Jurassic Park, I think that it postulates that if any system becomes sufficiently complicated, sufficiently gigantic, something will go wrong. Now, that's a slaughtering of chaos theory. It's really not, but it's the way it was applied to that situation. The complexity of any given thing will lead to its ultimate demise. Somebody else help me out here. I'm not really good with the chaos theory, but that was a general application as it seemed to apply in Jurassic Park. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
This is Chris from Chapelville, Tennessee.
Hi, Chris.
About 40 miles south of Nashville.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I was just calling to say tonight on local news that they were showing that they think that Chupacabra really did it.
That's the Chupacabra.
Chupacabra.
It is my mission in life to teach people how to pronounce that. So let's do it. Say Chupacabra.
Cabra.
Now say it all at once. Chupacabra.
Chupacabra.
You got it.
Yeah.
And so they think Chupacabra's there in Kentucky.
In Nashville.
I'm sorry, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee.
They showed the picture and everything on TV.
Of what? The man's porch? The man's dog?
Chupacabra.
Oh, no.
I know, it looks fake.
No, now see, you reverted. I just taught you how to say that, and you said it wrong. Again.
Chupacabra.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's important when you're talking about a little beastie. You think they like their names mismanaged that way?
As long as they can't find me.
Well, then it's right there in your area, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, real close.
So, how would you feel about a long, dark walk through the, no doubt, densely forested area that you live in tonight?
I would do it.
You would?
I'd like to see one.
You would?
Mm-hmm. I really would.
And what did they didn't have an actual photograph. They had a drawing, I'm sure, right?
Well, I couldn't really tell. It's like the face and the fangs. I've never seen the webpage, so I'm not sure.
Maybe they have my Chupacabra picture. I'm the only one I know of who has a possible real photograph of a Chupacabra, or a fake, I don't know. But it's pretty awful. So maybe they showed that?
That might have been it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess things are going to get interesting there in Tennessee and in the southeast part of the country.
I hope so.
Careful what you wish for. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good morning. telling you, careful, careful, careful what you wish for. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hey, Dale, this is Ray in Jacksonville, Florida.
Hi, Ray.
I just wanted to call and tell you I think your program is one of the greatest. It's a real hoot. It keeps me awake all night long. I'm a security guard.
Well, if anything will keep a security guard awake all night long, it'll be something like this.
It's funny. I really enjoy your program.
Well,
I just want to tell you one thing. Do you advertise that Gold Rose on radio?
Yes, we do. The Gold Rose, generally, the Gold Rose Company comes back on holidays like Mother's Day and that sort of thing. So they're not here full time, but they come and go.
Oh, okay. In other words, I just can't order it any time.
Actually, you can. And if I had the number for you handy, which I'm sorry I don't, I could get it given enough time, but it's buried here in about 1 million commercials that I've got, so I can't rattle it off for you this moment.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll try to get it. I've been listening a good while trying to catch that number again, but I'll be listening, and I really appreciate your program.
I'll see if I can dig it out for you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Art.
Thank you, and take care. Now, let us see what we've got here on my vampire line. You are on the air.
Good morning, Art. This is Wade.
Wade.
Sarasota, Florida.
Sarasota.
WKXY.
Yes.
My policy began March 6th, 1996 in New Orleans at a place called The Dungeon.
That's where you met somebody, I take it?
Just the most amazing place, most amazing thing that ever happened to me.
What was it? Tell us.
Walked in, beautiful gals, white skin, black lips, dark eyes, dark hair, and it was, 4 flights up, and it was the most amazing club I've ever been into, and things started to happen from there. It's been,
all right, now obviously, it don't get into anything pornographic.
Of course.
But, I mean, what happened to you?
A feeling of, euphoria is the only thing I can say.
Euphoria, yeah.
That was just totally beyond anything I had ever expected. I'm 42.
Were you seduced?
Absolutely.
Did you promise your soul in return for this seduction?
No, it was just one thing one thing led to another, and I have witnesses, and it just.
Well, you're saying a lot of things without saying anything. I want you to tell me what happened.
Rather personal, and without getting pornographic, rather personal. It's just
All right, well, look, from what I read, this letter that I read from the internet, it seemed quite clear that the seduction was occurring to obtain that person's soul. And that was the trade-off.
I don't have a soul. I had a soul up to March 6th.
Oh, so you're saying
something happened.
You're saying you have lost your soul.
Something has happened. I've been like in a bad limbo, a bad karma situation. It's just, but at the same time, it's the most pleasurable thing that you can imagine.
That's exactly what this other person said. Are you not concerned for your soul?
Being a Christian, as I have been my whole life, nah.
He says he's lost his soul and he's not concerned. He's lost his soul and he's not concerned. Did you hear that?
This is Premier Network. That was Art Bell hosting Coast to Coast AM on this Somewhere in Time.
I see them blue, me and you, and I think to myself,
We take you back to the past on Art Bell Somewhere in Time.
Love this thing. Why do I like this? An old Pat Boone song. Takes me back to my childhood. Anyway, check this out, folks, and now I'm going to need your help. Yes, I do have another claiming to be vampire on the line here. I'm holding open a vampire-only line, 702-727-1222. Vampires only. And then I want to hear from Nashville because, dear Art, did you hear about the alien in the Nashville area? Apparently a man heard some commotion outside his house, and when he went outside, he saw what he guessed was an alien. It ripped up his porch and bit his dog. The man appeared on the local news here in Nashville and declared he would take a lie detector test if necessary. I tell you more, but I've been catching the tail end of the news reports, and I can't find it in the paper. Someone in Nashville will have heard about it. What about it, Nashville? What's going on? Ripped up his porch, bit his dog. So, east of the Rockies, if anybody can help us with this story, we'll follow up. The east of the Rockies line is 1-800-825-5033. 1-800-825-5033. And now, to my vampire line, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
I can give you several bits of proof. I'll tell you the industry that I'm in right now. I'm in the telemarketing industry. And I touch base with
somewhat vampire-like, actually.
Hundreds of people every day. Bob Keats, who's a well-known author, is a personal friend of mine.
All right. Well, I don't want to identify you too closely. You're telling us you really are a vampire.
I really am a vampire.
All right. First of all, let me
clear up a couple of things, though.
Please. In other words, what is a vampire? So we all might understand. You heard the facts I read, I take it, on the internet deal?
I'm afraid that I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry you didn't hear that. All right, well, anyway, go ahead.
First of all, I have the ability to suck blood through fangs that I naturally have. However, I don't need to do that. As far as things like garlic, other things like that, sunshine, that's all a bunch of BS.
Yeah, I suspected that might.
It doesn't hurt you at all.
Doesn't it?
As far as super strength and super adrenaline, that's absolutely true.
How about crosses and Bibles?
It actually has, it depends on your inner self and your own belief and your own faith and your level, within the cult. But actually, that shouldn't be too much of a hindrance either.
Are you in what you would call a cult?
I'm not in a cult. But I will say this. There are certain projections from my existence that do affect, on a cosmic level sometimes, different events that unfold as a direct result of situations that have been imposed on me in a negative manner. Negative energy feeds on negative energy. And the darker and the deeper the negative energy is, the more power that comes out of that negative energy.
When a vampire takes from another, is a vampire taking the soul? The soul of that, or what we know to be, or think of us as a soul?
As a vampire, I can define for you the actual definition of a soul. Every living thing on the planet is surrounded by an electromagnetic field.
I believe that.
When you die, that electromagnetic field is released from your vessel. Housed within that energy is the essence of your soul.
Your essence.
Whether you're recycled into the vast electromagnetic field created by the core of the Earth, whether you escape the Earth and you go to the solar system, the center of electromagnetic energy in our solar system, and you're not going to believe this, but this is true. Jupiter has a great effect in this realm.
Well, what we're asking here, obviously, is, and I appreciate that definition. I don't necessarily disbelieve that. But are you able to interfere with that transition and, in effect, take that energy or that essence from a person?
Absolutely, 100%. You can actually feed on this energy. It is a massive energy. It affects computer systems. It affects electrical circuitry. It affects the photoelectric cells in street lights. It affects psychological behavior in humans.
Do you regard yourself as evil? You mentioned darkness. The darkness. Evil?
If you walk out into a dark pasture and you don't feel afraid,
yes,
does that make you evil because you're surrounded by darkness and you feel comfortable?
I'm not sure how to answer that. So you're saying it's subjective?
Absolutely.
All right. I really appreciate your call. Thank you. And that gives me something to think about. It is subjective. Evil is subjective, is it? Is evil subjective? I never thought so. I thought evil was a real, tangible thing. But I can understand that those who are involved in it, if taking of the essence of another makes you more powerful or immortal, then from his point of view, it is a subjective thing. So he wouldn't likely call it, or a vampire would not likely call it evil, would they? Interesting. All right, listen, my wife, having had a nap, is now up on the internet trying to help me in my search for a vampire. And so actually she's on AOL in the chat room, and here's the way you get there. You go on America Online, and she will be using my name. That's how you will know it's her. She'll be using the name Art Bell. So you go on America Online, just go hit keyword at the top of the screen and type in Art Bell, ARTBELL. That'll take you, you'll see a little photograph of me, and then you'll see something that'll say the Grassy Knoll chat room. Check that, and you will go in there, and there she will be, and she will be searching for vampires in there. Meanwhile, we will continue searching for vampires. That last one that I had on had the ring of some truth to it. So the vampire line remains open at area code. What other radio show ever does anything like this? Area code 702-727-1222. Vampires only. Real ones, too. Now, east of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hey, Art. This is Robert New Orleans.
Hello, Robert.
How do you do,
That's Ann Rice country.
Yeah. Let me tell you something about some of these people calling themselves vampires. First, a vampire can't take the soul unless you're willing to give it to him.
I believe that's right, yes.
That is exactly true, if folklore is right.
Did you hear the man, though, who called earlier and said that he had been in a certain club there in New Orleans, as a matter of fact?
That's what I'm going to tell you about. I had my bachelor party there.
You did?
There were 25 of us who, in the condition we were in, could have took the soul if they wanted it.
In other words, if she'd been pretty enough, and she would have been after that many beers or whatever.
That's right, Sal. They could have just grabbed up a bunch of us in a heartbeat.
You'd have taken one look at her, you'd have said, yes! And she'd have said, soul, and you'd have said, yes, sure!
There's not even 4 floors to the place. It's a little small place on the corner. It's not big enough to be something like that. Now, a bunch of strange people hang out there.
No, wait a minute. This is no rap on the place. This is simply where he met that person, that's all.
Well, I don't believe that for a heartbeat. I mean, I go down there, I live here, I go to the quarter all the time.
So you're trying to tell me you do think it's a place?
No, they could. They're not for vampires, it wouldn't be.
Oh.
They wouldn't put it on.
Well, yeah, but you see, a vampire really could be anywhere. A vampire could be on the internet. A vampire could be in a club. A vampire could be somebody you'd meet in the grocery store, for all I know.
No, this is voodoo country. Vampires.
I know it is.
Like in our voodoo.
I know it is.
Because we're protected by that, by all the greenery around the place, supposedly. Now, this is where zombies come from, where people are put under spells to do certain things. not really for...
Do you believe that about New Orleans? I mean, is it that mystical a place?
It is for some people. A lot of people want to believe that. It draws a lot of tourists because of it.
I'll bet. I mean, but do you believe it?
Used to be.
It's not like it used to be.
No. Now it's just a real big party town. And we're waiting for you to come here.
Well, I'm going to be doing that.
You said you're going to come down to Mardi Gras one of these years. You got to.
And I'm going to. Yes, I'm going to. But you need to understand, they chain me here.
I believe that.
I'm chained to my chair.
Well, one day I'm going to come out that way when I'm heading back to Hawaii to visit some relatives, and we're going to stop by around your area.
Then I also believe that when I die, they are going to lop off my head using new technology, mount me in a box, put me in front of a microphone, and make me talk forever. Thanks for the call, sir.
All righty,
You know, one of the most offensive shows that I ever had, it offended so many people. I wish I could find the guy again. I'd have him on again. He claimed that it absolutely was possible to separate the head from the body and keep the, as the body dies, and keep the head alive. And he came on and he talked for, I think it was 2 hours about that. How it could be scientifically achieved, and you could literally live forever as the body deteriorated, which it does. The head could be kept alive. A living head. Think about that. East of the Rockies, you're on the air, huh?
Good morning, Art. The guy you just had on that claims to be a vampire?
Yes.
I think he's full of malarkey because that was, I saw a movie about 10, 11 years ago that was the exact same thing he said for Life Force.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that movie?
Well, no, but there have been many movies, sir, about life force or what the soul is or what the essence is. And what he had to say, whether it was in a movie or not, is as reasonable a definition of what we think of as a soul as any.
Well, see, in the movie, it was the space vampires, and in fact, their spaceship was around Jupiter. When I heard that, I said, my God, I think he's talking about that movie I saw.
Might have been. Sounded serious to me.
Okay, then.
Where are you?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee. Think you got vampires in Milwaukee?
Oh, some nights we think we do.
Thanks for the call. I want to hear from Louisville. This is a very strange story. Maybe my wife will come up with a vampire for me on the Periscope room. First time caller line? No. Vampire line. You're on the air.
Oh, or I could take listening to those ones that were saying that they were vampires. I don't know what they are, but where was the blood?
Are you a vampire?
I was. I gave it up.
Well,
I would
so
say
you're a former vampire?
I would say that on an etheric level, I probably still am, but I'm
well, all right.
Not.
All right. After you didn't like what they said, let's hear what you got to say. What is a vampire? Are you a seducer?
No, it's not about sex. It's not about seduction.
Well, no, but a seduction is required for a. At least as I understand it, I read this thing on the internet, and she promised sex, but used that only to seduce him into saying he would give up his soul.
It's just seduction business. No, that's somebody else that knew more mentioned the incubus.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an entirely different level of being.
What is
a vampire wants blood, but all this happens on the astral plane.
All right, slow up. Did you actually?
I have had blood on this plane, yes, and I've had a lot of blood on the astral plane.
Human blood?
Oh, yes.
And what is it that it does?
What does the blood do? Well,
yes.
It's on the astral plane. It's like flying out to the stars.
All right, forget the astral plane because I don't know.
That's where it starts, but Eventually it starts to bleed through. I mean, you just get taken over. You realize that you've got to do it. You've got to do it in the physical, and that's what you start seeking.
Yes, I understand. And so then you actually seek out people. I mean,
yes, and the coward, I always call myself a coward, but the more timid amongst us will do it by asking and finding people that want to give their blood. But there are those that enjoy taking it by force.
Now, how many? All right, let me stop you there. There's a lot of jokes about guys who go up to women on the street, you know, and say, "Hey, let's have sex," right? Usually, it gets them a slap in the face. I would think going up to somebody, or even in a social circumstance, and saying something like, "Hey, how about a little blood?" just wouldn't go over. I mean, how do you get somebody to agree to that?
Well, there's like a mutual attraction, or on some level you can see you can sense who's into that.
So then there is an element. You say not seduction, but
it has nothing to do with that.
I understand, but it's a kind of a seduction, though, isn't it?
I wouldn't call it a seduction. Some people are just out there wanting to give their blood, but I've also had blood from people that didn't know that. I mean, I'm a nurse, so I was, sort of an optimal place to get fresh blood.
Oh my goodness! I hadn't thought of that aspect of it. In other words,
oh yes, there's many ways when you get desperate.
In other words, if you're really in need, you just order up a pint of whole, type O, whatever.
I wouldn't order it up. I would get it.
Oh,
yeah.
And all right.
Obviously, I won't.
So
my name.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
There's a lot of vampires in the healthcare field. There's a lot of vampires working grave shift, so third shift, grave shift, whatever you want to call it.
I never thought of that.
Oh yeah.
Now, in movies about vampires, they will show vampires going out and, let's say, I think I saw the Anne Rice movie, Interview with a Vampire, and really the vampire didn't want to kill people. So the vampire would go out and first take the blood of rats, take the blood of animals, small animals, that kind of thing. But inevitably was drawn to human blood.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I've never had animal blood.
You started off mainlining humans, huh?
Yeah, human blood.
And what do you think that you gained from that? And what did you lose?
Well, it's like a form of nourishment, it really is. And it came to the point where I felt like the only thing I wanted to live on was blood. I could hardly stand to eat food.
And for how long in your life did this go on?
Intensely, no more than 5.
5 years.
But you know what, the AIDS thing, that really put a cramp in my style. That was kind of the beginning of the end. That's when I just started to get, it became so difficult.
No, I'm not really certain about this. I was a medic in the Air Force, but the ingestion of blood is not the same, or is it, as the commingling of blood, which is required to transmit the AIDS virus? Or is it possible that if you were to consume blood with the AIDS virus, as it passed through your digestive system, it would infect you? Do you know?
I can take the chance, because here's the thing. What about in your mouth, where you can have
small cuts,
a gum problem, you could have a sore in your mouth, you could have bit your tongue. You could have a million little openings.
It's true.
And I personally am very cautious with AIDS and don't believe too much of what the CDC says. Speaking of AIDS, not to get off the vampire thing, but...
Well, no, I think it's very important, because I would think that it really would have put a cramp in the style of a lot of vampires.
It has. I mean, I personally know one that died from AIDS.
A vampire?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he used to just cover the walls in blood, so it's not surprising. Some vampires on a physical plane, there are people that actually that kill people.
I understand. Now across America, there is this thing going on with animal mutilations. with the blood removed from animals. All kinds of horrible, strange things going on. Could it be satanic cults, vampires?
I don't know. Vampires aren't satanic.
They're not satanic.
They're not consciously satanic, no. It has nothing to do with devil worship. It never did for me. But there is, and I think you need to get back to the astral. I know that you've had some talk on the show also of astral traveling and so forth. I feel that unless you're doing it in sort of in a prayer mode, or you're kind of really aligned up with whatever, however you worship God, you're in great danger. This is
after listening to you, I feel in great danger. Listen, I've got to go. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it. Well, there you go. We'll be right back.
The trip back in time continues with Art Bell hosting Coast to Coast AM. More Somewhere in Time coming up. Listening to Art Bell, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from July 16, 1996.
The stock market yesterday very nearly sucking the vital juices from many investors. The day before definitely doing so. Volatile. Boris Yeltsin, looking like his vital juices are not exactly at a high point. Vice President says they are, but you've got to wonder about his vital juices altogether. Everybody else, the reporters who saw Yeltsin, think that he looks kind of pale, perhaps drained. Actually, heart trouble. Otherwise, there is not a lot in the news. Bob Dole, I guess. Everybody's wondering about his vital juices. Otherwise, believe it or not, we have, for the last couple of hours, been talking vampires. I was asked yesterday to reread a fax I had received from somebody who was on the internet, a vampire fax, which I did. Then somebody faxed me and said, open a vampire line, and you know me. So I opened a vampire line. I just finished talking to a nurse who admitted she was a vampire for 5 years. She drank blood, and she had a ready supply of blood, and she also took it from people who volunteered to give it. So we've been talking about the nature of vampires a bit. It's been actually very interesting. Right now, my wife is entertaining those with the guts to go up into America Online's chat room. She's up using my name. That's how you'll know it's Ramona, because she's using my logon, Art Bell. And if you want to go in and say hello, you may do so. Simply go on America Online, hit keyword up there, and type in Art Bell, and you'll go to this little area where you'll see my photograph, and then check on the Grassy Knoll. Just check or click on Grassy Knoll, and you'll be in that chat room, and there she will be. So, I've got two things. Oh, yes, in the Nashville story. I want to find out about that. Doggone it. Where's my Nashville story? Darn it. There is a story that apparently ran on the Nashville News tonight about a man who swears he was attacked by an alien. It actually ripped up part of his porch and bit his dog. And so, would somebody from Nashville please give me a call and tell me if this is true or baloney? He says it's really true and swears he will take a lie detector test. So an attack in Nashville, maybe. So how about it? Nashville. Only Nashville, please. East of the Rockies. If anybody knows anything about this story, please call now. 1-800-825-5033. Everybody else, hold off. Hold off. Nashville only. At 1-800-825-5033. Reminding you, we return your radio to normal talk tomorrow night. Harry Brown, the Libertarian candidate, will be here. And by the way, thank you for all the faxes regarding vampirism as it relates, in your opinion, to politicians and attorneys and ex-wives, but I choose not to read them. One politician, Harry Brown, will be here tomorrow night, and we will interview him. He is the Libertarian Party's candidate for the presidency. Then on Friday, Courtney Brown, a professor from Emory University, doing a lot of work with remote viewing. Is when you hear his target Mars, he'll tell you about Mars and more. Now to my vampire line. You are on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell.
Good morning.
Before we start, I'd like to say one thing. After 15 years of Coast to Coast, it's about time you got around to us.
Well, I know. It is one of those things that I don't know how I've overlooked you suckers. But apparently I have, and that is now over. As you can see, this morning we're doing vampires, and so tell us about it. You claim you are a vampire, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's hear your story, Dan.
Well, I became a vampire on June 8th, 1966. I was approximately 25 years old at the time. I was seduced by a female, and ever since then I have had to survive off of feeding off of other people.
All right. Without giving me the no doubt titillating details of the seduction, would it be fair to say that she traded herself to you for your soul?
Yeah, that would be a fair estimate.
I mean, was there actually... Were you bitten? I don't even know if biting is the right word. I don't even know if that physical act occurs. Now, you heard the nurse before this hour. She said she drank blood.
Yes, the drinking blood part is optional. It depends on how you get your nourishment. You can feed off of blood, souls, or emotions.
Blood, souls, or emotions. So you can literally take the essence, then, of another person.
Yes.
And what does that do for you? It nourishes you, it makes you stronger, it makes you immortal. What does it do?
It does all that. It gives you your nourishment, and it's addictive. You cannot get by without it.
I've heard that. There have been strange, obscure stories in the news. There was a story, for example, about a wife who I think was killed by her husband, who had seen a movie about vampirism and actually drank his wife's blood.
That's entirely possible. Some people get into it just because of a mental state or implanted thought. Others have no choice.
Don't you think that what you're doing, do you regard what you're doing as evil?
I suppose that all depends on which part of it you take. If you actually take a life, or if you deprive somebody of their soul, yes, I consider it evil.
And if you feed on their emotions, if you feed on their being, that is not evil?
I suppose it could be considered evil, but you leave them whole also.
All right, back on June 8th, 1966, did this woman tell you what she was doing?
In a roundabout way, yes. She did not come right out and say it.
Then how do you know it happened?
Afterwards, it was brought to my attention rather abruptly.
Are you then compelled?
Yes, you are. Like I said, you have no choice. You become addicted. And you have to feed it.
John, I appreciate your call. Thank you. All right, there's another one. You know, there have been novels written, Anne Rice writes them. We will do this subject on Dreamland coming up this Sunday. I am never disappointed in this audience. I mean, if you stick with it long enough, you're going to get the real thing. I mean, if there is really such a thing as vampires, and Whether there is or not, it seems like an awful lot of people believe that there is, and that they are such thing. And that's it. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Bill.
Yes, sir.
This is Steve from Franklin, Kentucky.
Franklin, Kentucky.
Yeah, about 35 miles north of Nashville.
All right. Did you hear the story I read?
Yes, I did.
Have you guys been hearing anything about that locally?
I heard about it, I think it was Sunday on the news.
So there is something to it.
Yes.
Okay, are the details that I have roughly correct? A man claiming he was outside, an alien or something like it, attacked him, ripped up his porch, bit his dog, and he's willing to take a lie detector test.
Well, he claims that's true. He said it left scratch marks on his porch and bit his dog twice.
Did they take a camera crew out there?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Well, I saw his dog. They showed 2 little marks on his dog where it looked like it had been bit. Maybe, I don't know. But that's what he's claiming. He also claimed that there was something above that was, I don't know, firing some kind of lasers or something at whatever was on the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, we've had a number of laser stories. There is a confirmed story in California the last few days of a sheriff and a driver of one of the big 18-wheelers that got hit with a laser, retinal damage, and burns.
Yeah, I heard that the other night on your show.
What's going on?
I don't know.
All right, well, listen, I appreciate the confirmation, sir, and I thank you for the call. On my vampire line, you're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell.
Good morning.
You wanted to speak to a vampire?
That's right.
A real one.
That's correct.
You're talking to one. Name's Peter. I have been a vampire since October 21st, 1927.
Wait a minute. October 21st, 1927?
Exactly.
You're then obviously immortal?
Exactly.
How did you become a vampire?
I was brought into this world by my master. His name was Gregory. He took me on that date after I surrendered my soul to him.
You know what I'm curious about? How did Gregory talk you into it?
I had just lost my love to another man. In anger, he came to me and gave me an option. And I took it. You
were or are homosexual?
No.
You had lost your love, I'm sorry, a woman to another man.
Yes.
You were angry.
Mm-hmm.
And this man offered you what?
A chance for revenge and immortality. And I was willing to surrender my soul for it.
Revenge and immortality. Revenge in what form?
I took them both.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Killed them?
Exactly.
By taking their blood?
As much as I could.
Apparently sufficiently.
Yes.
And you have been about since 1927.
Yes.
How old were you in 1927?
I was 25.
25. And has the process of aging within you ceased?
Yes, exactly. I'm the same age I was since then.
That's absolutely amazing. Do you have regrets? Are you sorry? Is it a terrible existence?
Why would I have any regrets?
I'm just asking.
For trading my soul? What appealing thing to lose when there's no more right or wrong? There's no more conscience. Nothing can stop you. Take what you want. And there's nothing there to stop you. Why would I have any regrets?
When did right and wrong stop?
Since that day.
For you?
Yes.
Well, I suppose there's a lot of ways of looking at it. You claim you are immortal, and yet the world someday will end, physically end. At that point, wouldn't you be a bit of a lost soul?
Well, Yes, you can look at it that way, but how do you know it's going to ever end?
Well, you don't. So from your point of view, no right, no wrong, you just take what you need.
Exactly.
And I am curious, now what is it you need to sustain yourself in this immortality?
The blood of a living person.
And how frequently is that needed?
I can do it once every 2 weeks. If I'm really, really in the mood, maybe 3 times a week.
What about the law? I mean, do you not fear being caught in the act?
No. Never have it. That's one of the things you do. There is nothing to fear now. There is nothing to fear.
Once the soul is gone and lost. Is it, as we understand it, evil?
Evil.
Yeah.
You can see so many people, what is good and evil? Just because you're not like me, you're good?
No, it was a question, not a statement with regard.
Well, no. Well, here's what I'm trying to get at. Good. Doesn't a normal man kill? For his food?
Yes.
For his freedom?
Yes.
So what's evil?
Well,
you see it as black and white.
Possibly the surrendering of one's soul is an evil thing. I don't know that for sure. I'm asking. I kind of feel it is.
Well, that's one interpretation of it. I guess you can say that. Okay, if I am evil, I'm evil.
Subjective.
Yes, exactly. Now, among my brethren, we don't see anything evil about it.
I understand. Have you brought others into this same situation?
A few. Some that I feel are worthy.
Worthy?
Yeah. Some aren't.
What would make a person worthy of receiving this this gift from your...
I'll give you an example. We had one that we brought across, and eventually his conscience got to him. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a mistake. We can't have that. Once you decide to come across, you have to abandon everything. Everything.
Are there many like you?
There's more than you would believe. They could be your next door neighbor. They could be a cop driving a police car.
I appreciate your call, Peter.
Okay.
Thank you. That's kind of chilling. All right, east of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Yes, this is Kevin from Pulaski, Tennessee.
Hello, Kevin.
I was the one that called you about 56 cat. I just want to tell you, my dad drives a cab in...
Kevin, that was 58 cats.
Or 58 cats.
I've got an awfully good memory.
My dad drives a cab in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
And I'm 60 miles south of Nashville.
Right.
And he told me about this alien kind of guy last night, or tonight, when he come into work.
So, all right, so then there is something to...
There is something in Nashville. He said that all the cab drivers were talking about it.
Uh-huh.
So, I just wanted to let you know about that.
Nashville nights, huh?
Nashville nights.
I wouldn't be out there.
I hear you. All right, appreciate it.
Thank you. So there you go, folks. There's something going on in Nashville. Well, ladies, are you walking out late at night, Nashville, there? Or are you taking a little extra protection with you? West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Art.
Hi.
I want to talk about art parts. I'm kind of tired of the vampire thing. They're not saying much, and I think my lunch was much more interesting than theirs.
Well, that's subjective, but you talk about anything you want to.
On the art part, I was thinking that the Dan, was that the gentleman's name, the scientist?
Yes.
The business. I'm a psychic, and This was not my reading, but another psychic's reading.
Yes.
And this is what she said to me.
What?
She said, and she didn't know anything about our cards. I just asked her to concentrate while I was transmitting.
All right, so she said what?
She said, and she had absolutely no idea I was talking about.
We got to get to it, or we're going to lose it. She said what?
She said that in a planet that is dense, that they need they would take an element such that would be very dense heavily and try to make it lighter. The thought would never occur to them to take a light metal and go like aluminum and transport in it because
All right.
they did not have it.
I've got you. All right, thank you. We'll be back.
Back in Time continues with Art Bell hosting Coast to Coast AM. More Somewhere in Time continues. Premier Networks presents Art Bell, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from July 16, 1996.
Well, good morning. What shall we call this? Interviews with vampires. Nobody else does this kind of thing, as far as I know, except Anne Rice, and she only writes about it. Oh, man. Weird stuff. So we've got a vampire line open at area code 7.
Yes. And right now, I'm very shaky. I had several convulsions this evening. I have an irresistible compulsion to receive a life force tonight.
You're claiming you're a vampire.
Please do not use that word. That word was brought forth by your own history and folklore.
That's all I knew. What should I call you?
My soul is damned. I don't enjoy this, Mr. Bell.
All right, then why?
I don't enjoy this at all.
Then why did you get into it?
I had no choice.
Well, tell me.
I'll give you a small and short history.
All right.
As much as I can remember.
Go right ahead.
In the early 20th century, somewhere, I don't remember exactly, 1909, 10, somewhere around there. I played professional baseball in New York City on a team, the New York Nine, one of the very first professional ball clubs here in the United States of America. Upon that team were several players who had homosexual tendencies. Anyone who tells you that a damned soul's life has nothing to do with sex is a liar, Mr. Bell. Avidity and lust feeds the fire. Every part of my life details with sex and lust and desire.
And that was the...
I was taken by one of my teammates. I don't remember exactly. A person never does. Right now, your papers talk about repressed memory syndrome. I believe I have a repressed memory syndrome. I can remember several details of being indoctrinated. But since then, much of it's a blur. I hear you smoke. You have a compulsion to smoke, is that correct?
Yes.
My compulsion is similar to yours. You cannot go without a cigarette for a day or so. I cannot go without a life force or nourishment for longer than 24 hours. The longer I live, the worse it becomes. I can tell you what it's like in detail, how the life force is taking. Would you be interested?
Go ahead.
I will tell you one thing. Once you spill the blood, once you've tasted the blood, And I'm calling it blood right now because that is what your folklore and your history has provided. I have the soul. You become that person. You take that soul. Now.
And that nourishes you, feeds you?
No, it doesn't. It keeps me from doing it again within 24 hours or however the time span is. Now, I don't have much time here. I'm very ill.
All right.
I'm very ill.
I will let you go to whatever it is you're going to do. That is an interesting description. That it is a compulsion, as other things are compulsions. You compared it to smoking. Something you have to do, something you have to repeat. Now I asked him, was it sustenance? Was it maintenance? And his answers just sort of seemed to be that it had to be. He had to do it. It was a compulsion to do it. An interesting answer and plausible. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Whoops, would have been. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi.
Yes.
This is Mike from Indiana.
Hello, Mike.
Just want to tell you we love the show here.
Thank you.
And I know what that is in Nashville. It's not an alien.
What is it?
The chupacabra.
Well, obviously, we all were thinking that 2 marks on the dog, right?
Yes.
That's what he said. So it could have been, boy, I wonder if the chupa's in Nashville.
Yeah, it could be. It's moving further north.
And east?
And east, yes.
We will stand by for more reports from Nashville, but it doesn't sound good.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right.
You take care.
Thank you. Pretty weird. There is a story about a man, again, whose porch was scratched or damaged in some manner. His dog was bitten. He saw an alien. He saw some kind of craft. He's willing to take a lie detector test. And this apparently is in the Nashville press. And the first I heard of it was a fax I got, and then several successive calls confirming the story. Very odd. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Yes, it is. Turn your radio off, please.
Okay, sure. This immortality thing, I wrote you a letter or sent you a fax. You were asking about time travel and mortality.
Yes.
And I don't know if you remember, I told you about a man in San Jose who was using a machine or something that was invented by Nikola Tesla.
I recall very well, ma'am, and I got your letter. But in your letter, then, you seemed to back away from what you had told me on the phone.
Well, now this talk that you just had from
on the phone, and then what you told me in the letter were 2 very different things. You went all the way away from the machine angle of it into another area, and I was sort of disappointed in that.
Well, I've got to apologize. I tend to wander a little. Please forgive me. Anyway, this idea of taking life force that has come across to us tonight through these people.
Do you believe it?
Actually, this machine attracts essence.
Essence. Do you believe what you've been hearing tonight?
I would be a fool to disbelieve it. I mean, you can't believe or disbelieve it on the evidence we have right now. But essence, life essence, can be attracted by multi-phase oscillators.
Well, that is, all right, thank you. It is possible. Sure, it's possible. You remember the old Ghostbusters movie? Remember when they trapped the essence within the machine at cryogenic temperatures, I think it was, or something? I can't quite recall that at all. Well, it may be that if the nature of the soul is in some way electromagnetic, that there would be the possibility of a machine that would trap or contain that essence. Maybe we are foolish to think man can do such a thing. I don't know. Back to the vampire line. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I just wanted to say, though, that I was in it, and it is real evil.
You were a vampire.
Yes. You have to give your soul to the devil to get into it. It's evil.
Well, I don't see how you get out of it. In other words, I don't see how there could be an ex-vampire. Once you're a vampire, you are a vampire. Once once you've given up your soul, I don't think you can take it back.
But I think God's mercy is a lot stronger than the devil.
But you gave up your soul.
Yeah, but I think God don't hold it to you if you don't know what you're really doing. And if you don't really realize what you're getting into.
What exactly did you do?
Well, you have to drink. Well, you don't have to drink blood. It's drink blood. It is all sexual. I mean, people do horrible things for sex. And,
that's true.
Yeah. That lady that's saying it wasn't. It is. It's all sex.
Were you seduced, or were you the seducer, or both?
I got into it because I wanted to kill someone that hurt me, and I knew I couldn't do it on my own. So I knew the devil can help me. So that's how I got into it.
And did you kill that person?
No, I didn't. No.
How did you come to give up your soul?
I don't know. You just do it. You just tell the devil that whatever.
You say, hey, devil, whatever?
Oh, no. I don't know. It's really horrible. It's horrible to go back into that. In fact, just talking about it, you're opening up doors to things that you don't even realize that you're opening up to.
That's what I do for a living. I open doors to.
But this is something not to even mess around with, though.
I'm not messing around with it. You did.
Yeah, I did, and I know what it does. And it's not. A lot of people go into it for the game of it. It's not a game.
It's not a game.
No, it's not.
Well, one of the reasons that I opened this line was I wanted to find out if it was real.
Yeah, it's real.
That's what I thought. I really did think it was real. I mean, I started out with this facts of the internet business, but I really am coming to believe this is real. I thank you for the call. Art, vampires are not evil in the sense that Claudia is. They are simply a product of their nature. They do consume blood. However, they do not need it nearly as much as is commonly believed. After they are, quote, embraced, end quote, which is the word used to describe when a human is taken and transformed into a vampire, they need to replace the blood, which was taken from them in the process almost immediately. However, after that, they only need, in caps, to feed every few days. And as months and years pass, they must feed less and less. The blood does not get digested and ejected as food does. It becomes transformed into vampire tissue and begins to harden and strengthen the organs. Eventually, the entire body will have been transformed and blood is no longer necessary. I do not know any individuals who have achieved it. Typically, in modern times, vampires mostly feed off the willing. They lure a following and feed off of them in small amounts to quench their thirst. However, there are vampires who are evil in nature and do enjoy the hunt. They are very good at the game, have learned methods of avoiding authorities. Vampires cannot get AIDS. They're not human any longer. They cannot fall ill from disease, any disease that would afflict man, and can only be killed through unique means. The only illness I've ever known to afflict a vampire is through a type of magic that hinders the flow of energy that night gives them. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Well, Gloriowski, I got through with you, Art. My name's Stuart. You had a gift so precious. Half the world would want to kill you, destroy you. The other half would give anything to have it, and give anything to have it. Got to calm my heart here for a second.
Yes.
Would you want that? Would you want that to be common knowledge? I mean,
No, the answer is a clear no. You would not want that to be common knowledge. Thank you. But I'll tell you something. There are people willing to tell a story as long as a forum is given for it. Now, I know when we began the program this morning, earlier, a lot of people went, oh, yeah, right, come on, sure. What a bunch of baloney. And then an hour went by, and fewer people were saying that. And then 2 hours went by, and people were going, oh, my God. Well, has it occurred to a lot of you out there that in this country we have, you want to call it the chupacabra, we've got a lot of dead animals. South of the border, thousands. There are missing children and missing people that nobody can and will account for. There are mutilations going on that some want to attribute to aliens. Well, if not aliens, then what? Vampires? No? You're sure? I'm not. Not at all. Listen carefully to what these people are saying before you dismiss it. So that's why we're doing this program this morning. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Art.
Hello.
This is Jack in Portland.
Yes, Jack.
I was thinking maybe you should open a werewolf line some night.
Maybe I should, but tonight it's vampires, not werewolves.
Yeah. Anyway, I have a couple questions for you.
Yes?
Have you seen Independence Day yet?
Not yet.
If you did, I wanted to get a review from you.
Well, I'm holding out. Yeah,
And,
I'm waiting. I may see it, you never know, I may see it on the way to Europe.
And, I noticed you haven't done an extra hour in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Do you think you'll do it soon?
When the spirit, so to speak, moves.
Okay.
All right?
That's all, Art. Bye.
Thank you, bye. As a matter of fact, I am actually leaving for Europe. By the way, it's toll-free to call from Transylvania. Just get the AT&T USA direct number from Transylvania, and then or get the AT&T operator and call 800-893-0903 from Transylvania or anywhere else around the world. We really do have a toll-free international line. I always forget to mention it. AT&T USA direct operator or access number, and then 800-893-0903. And good morning on my vampire line. You're on the air. Hello. Goodbye. Wildcard line, you're on the air. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, Art.
Hello.
Calling from St. Paul.
Yes, sir.
I have an idea for you.
Okay.
There seems to be such a split in different kinds of vampires you're getting on your vampire line. I was thinking you should have one of your debate between two vampires, one that thinks they need blood, the other that doesn't think they need blood, or the vampire that thinks it's good versus the vampire that thinks it's evil.
Well, you know, I don't think any of them have said good. If I've divined anything so far...
There's been a couple that have said that it's not evil, though.
Well, yeah, they said what? There is no good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure that would set up to be a debate. I thought it was a good answer. Really, there is no good and evil. Once you've moved across that threshold, there is just what you do. No good, no evil. They just do it. Did that make sense to you?
Yeah, it made sense.
It did to me, too. All right, well, we're going to break here at the top of the hour, and then maybe we'll do some more of this. Here it comes, because I need it.
You're listening to Art Bell, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from July 16th, 1996. Courtesy of Premier Network.
On the first-time caller, no, the vampire line, you're on the air.
I've already called you once before.
Not tonight, right?
Oh, no, not tonight. A long time ago.
All right.
This took a lot of courage because I usually don't like to talk about what I am. But I can dispel a couple of myths.
Fire away. Take a bite out of it.
When a vampire is not initiated into being a vampire is born a vampire, period. The people that are initiated into it, all they really are hosts. In other words, they supply the blood for the true vampire.
Vampires do require blood.
I'm afraid so. There is a way to get around it, and often a vampire will be born this way and not realize it for quite some time.
By that time, they must be famished.
Well, there are, like I said, ways to get around it.
For example, well, we're listening.
For one thing, this is going to really inspire a lot of phone calls from other people who say they're vampires. But for one thing, I can tell you only this, and I'll try to make it brief.
All right.
I did not know I was a vampire until I had minor surgery, which turned into major surgery. And then I had this blood transfusion, and when I came home, and the doctor notified me that he had to give me more blood than usual, I came home and I felt like I was on top of the world, and I couldn't understand why. And I can't explain the feeling.
It was the infusion.
It was the transfusion. And
but how did I
know?
How did you make the jump from that feeling of well-being or wellness?
Because I could have very well been addicted to the transfusion itself. And I feel that vampirism, while it's an adjective, that is really all it is. It might not be an accurate adjective of a medical condition.
Well, what exactly is it for you?
Okay, we were talking about the transfusion. The transfusion I had, and like that one fellow that called in and said it was addicting.
Yeah.
That's the way I felt after I had the transfusion. Like I was addicted to something because I felt so great. And when I mentioned it to my doctor when I saw him, he got a very weird look on his face. And
did not want to stay in the same room with me. I was quite young.
I understand that.
But then I realized what I was driving for.
I mean, you actually admitted this to your doctor.
Well, I just told him that I felt great. Why, and he left the room. Well, okay, now about 3 months later, I went into convulsions, and I scared the holy heck out of my parents.
How old were you then?
I was in barely 20, I think.
20?
It was a long time ago. And so they called the doctor because they were there, visiting me at my house.
Yes.
And when he came in, I heard him talking, and he says, well, she must have had a reaction to the transfusion. And so I accepted that. I thought, yeah, that's what's wrong with me. And so he gave me some pain pills. He had not had me on pain pills before, but he had to then.
Right.
And I got over it, but it took a long time. But I never quite felt as good as I did on the transfusion.
So did you ever go out and...
No.
So you kicked the habit.
I ordered my steaks rare and noticed I felt somewhat better, but not really like the transfusion, okay? It still didn't dawn on me why. Because I talked to a friend.
What I'm asking you now is, in all that time, to your present age, have you ever revisited the same feeling that you had?
I sometimes miss the feelings that I got with the transfusion, yes. I, began to slowly but surely realize, well, that must be a vampire. And it was not a blood mismatch like I had been talked into believing it was, because I wouldn't have felt so great after I had it.
But I mean, what I'm really asking is, haven't you ever wanted to go out and acquire some...
No, I think that's a fetish. Now, there might be different kinds of vampires, too.
Well, now, listen. All right, well, listen, I've got to run, but I think that's right. You say it's a fetish? All right, a guy called earlier, and I thought his explanation was quite good. He said, you smoke cigarettes, right? And he said, you've got to have them, right? Can you go a day? 2 days? He said the compulsion, once you've given into it, is exactly like that. You've got to have it. And another fellow was seemingly totally immoral. All right, well, that's it. There you have it. A bit of an exploration into the darkness. Indeed. The right hours to do that, huh? Okay, all the lines are open for whatever you want to do in the remaining time that we have this morning. And you know what the numbers are, so here we go. East of the Rockies, you are on the air. Hello.
Good morning, Earth. This is Adam calling from Illinois.
Yes, Adam.
How are you doing this morning?
Fine. I'm just fine.
Great. I'm otherwise known as Adam1 on the Undernet.
Okay.
I called last night. I've got a few questions for you from the group here. I've been trying to call in all night. I'll try and make it quick.
Okay.
Do you know when Gordon Michael Scallion will be on again?
No, I don't. He will be on again. When? No. The answer is no, I don't.
Okay. And secondly, you were talking months ago, really, about getting coast to coast on the shortwave.
Yes.
What's the deal with that?
Well, when I go to Russia, I am going to be meeting with some people on that topic.
Okay. Well, great. And lastly, I was telling you to mention this. I was talking to a guy earlier on the channel. He said he's going to email this wave file. He claims it's an actual recording of tapes. that was recorded by some guys at a seance at a church late one night about 2 months ago.
All right.
So.
All right, I'll look forward to it.
Okay.
Thank you. And if you know me, if I get an actual recording of Satan, I will play it for you, I guess. Remember the story about the hole they dug and the microphone they put down? Wildcard Line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello, Art.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Glenn from Merced.
Hello, Glenn.
2 questions I want to ask you real quick. I've been trying to call you for a while.
Yes, sir.
You talk about downloading it, on the internet.
Yes.
Did you say a 28.8 is the best thing to use? The 14.4 is quick enough to download it all?
No, you can use 14.4. There's still a lot of people out there with 1200 baud modems, that kind of thing. That's a no-no.
Yeah. And just one other quick question. With Clinton and the presidential pardons and all that stuff.
What presidential pardons?
Well, the executive pardon privilege from the president.
Yes, I know what it is.
Yeah. All these people involved with Whitewater and all this stuff, Jim Guytuck and all the people back in Arkansas.
Yep.
If they don't dump on him, will he be able to pardon them all and just kind of clear his name?
You know what? After the election, it would not surprise. It's a very good question you're asking, and the answer could be that after the election, with nothing to lose, or very little to lose, being at that point, a lame duck, I suppose the president, if we can imagine that he is threatened by stories that might be told, could issue a pardon. It could happen. It would be politically very difficult, and it would be a high price to pay. And you could almost presume, just thinking about this in a linear fashion, that if such a pardon was issued, it would be a virtual admission of guilt. But could it be done? Yes, it could. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, my name is Harv. I'm from Morro Bay, California.
Hello, Harv.
I listen to you every night with my Sangean radio that I bought from Ukraine.
It's a good one.
It's wonderful.
Yes.
I just wanted to suggest that the crop circles are nothing more than HARP system test patterns.
Well, it's as good a suggestion as any. Except for one thing.
What?
HARP has not been going on for the number of years that we have been seeing crop circles. How about that?
Well, that's okay. You got me in a corner.
Just a little monkey wrench there. But it was a good thought, sir. Thank you. Back now to the telephones, and let's see, Wildcard Line, you're on the air.
Morning, Art.
Good morning.
This is Mark calling from Lenexa, Kansas.
Hello, Mark.
How are you?
Fine.
I am an independent voter. I voted Republican, I voted Independent, and I voted Democrat. And my question is, why Bob Dole? If Clinton is so bad, why don't the Republicans come up with a better answer than Bob Dole?
That requires, I'm not really sure I have the answer to that.
You would think that they would find some flashy young guy with
why do we have Bob Dole?
outside of Washington that doesn't have the Beltway influence.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bob Dole has 35 years in Congress.
Yep.
So that's my question.
All right, I'll struggle with it. Thank you. Why Bob Dole? Because the Republican Party is a conservative party. The Republican Party is a party of loyalty. And the Republican Party is being loyal to Bob Dole right now. Now look here, don't ask me whether this is smart or not. I'm giving you an answer. One that you may not like, or a lot of people may not like, but in a way, Bob Dole achieved the nomination by succession. Almost by succession. That's my answer. He earned it. He was tenured into the position. That's one answer. Another is, it was a setup. In other words, because of the reasons I just stated with regard to the root beliefs and values of the Republican Party, his chief opponent was allowed to be Pat Buchanan, who was able to be painted as an extremist, fairly or unfairly. It was always going to be a fairly easy job to do that. And he was painted as the main opposition. He grabbed the core radical part of the party, the Republican Party, and appealed to those people. And that gave him an early running start against Bob Dole, but all along there could not have been, and I told you this, and I'm telling you again now, there could not have been another result. Bob Dole would beat Pat Buchanan. Surety, no problem. I knew that all along. So it was a done deal. Bob Dole was and is the presumptive nominee, indeed is going to be. I would like to believe that the Republican Party could have what would amount to an insurrection, George Will's words. And there would be an open convention. Bob Dole would politely concede to someone else, but it's not going to happen. Bob Dole is going to be the nominee. And, frankly, I'm glad that I'm going to be in Europe when it happens. I'm not looking forward to this convention. Bob Dole has made so many concessions on the way that I'm not sure what's left. You know about the keynote speaker, right? Even Pat Buchanan had a nice word or two to say about the keynote speaker. Bob Dole has changed his mind on the assault weapons business and so many things now that I have no idea what he is, except, as I just explained, in a sense, he has simply risen through the ranks, kind of like a private who rarely can become a general. He has risen through the ranks, and the nomination is his, by right. Now, that may not be smart. It may not be a winning strategy, certainly. But you asked how it happened, why it happened, and that is my answer. Wildcard line, you're on the air.
This is Van Park, Bell.
Yep.
Mr. Van Park, I got to tell you something. This is Bill in Sacramento.
Hi, Bill.
I'm 71 years old. Did you ever hear of Sybil Leek?
Yes, that is a familiar name.
Yeah, she was an anthropologist, a social anthropologist.
Yes,
I went to visit her when she was living in Melbourne Beach. She's passed on now.
Right.
And I can't help making a very sarcastic joke and a comment, because if anyone knows anything about vampires, it would be Sybil Leek. And I do too, because I was part of a Macumba cult in Brazil, which is the next step better than voodoo.
Really?
Oh yeah. I have photographs and tape recordings and...
So what you're saying is all of this really is real. It's below the surface. The public doesn't know about it. They hear about it only at the edges or in movies, but it is real.
It's weakness. It's a person to be